pockets under the roof, and they're still there. And it rained all night, so they're effed up.
They're still there?
They just bounced without trying to get them?
Like, up on the roof?
Sure did.
Stop
they were having a big old fight about it.
Crazy.
4 minutes is all I say.
I sat down in an airport for 5 consecutive hours starting at 11:30 p.m. to recover a tablet. I don't know what I would do to get my phone back.
Yeah. Apparently they started having a big old
park and shutting it down
fight
now.
about it. And they,
break and enter, probably.
I'm going to go rent a ladder for $30.
Craig, cut this out.
And then I'm going to go and get my $1,000 plus device.
And my girlfriend. It was 2. It wasn't just one.
Several $1,000s worth of devices.
Get my phone and my girlfriend. She fell too.
I'm gonna be the hero.
But yeah, it was crazy noodles.
Find me your $400.
Oh my gosh. What a day.
Gotta catch me
I can't tell you
first.
the last time I went to a amusement park. I think I've been skydiving more recently.
I admit I only went because Josh found a coupon for me, and he already had a pass.
No,
so
I
we
mean
had free parking. So
also
that is a
perfect day to go. That is
I do love a roller coaster.
Dude, Silver Dollar City. I'll say it. Silver Dollar
yeah.
City is so much better than Six Flags. Yes, it's way more. It's definitely more expensive. I think it's not worth the price that it is, but it's definitely worth more than Six Flags because there's also like artisan crafts. You can like watch people blow glass and take a class and buy glass blown stuff. Or
you could pay for that right now. I'll blow some glass if you pay, and then go to my private channel.
Yeah, and I can teach you math or whatever.
You know what I'm saying?
Class.
Anyone? Know what I'm saying?
Okay, I've been. Okay, all right. And there's also roller coasters. Do you have a roller coaster, M?
I could take you on one.
On an emotional roller coaster.
Okay.
I could take you on one.
But see, I feel like that would also include spending money, though. So I'm already spending money for the glass blowing and the YouTube.
I mean, it's all different levels of like, you know, your subscription service. If we talk like an ultimate subscription model, I'll take you on a roller coaster and blow some glass.
I'll take you to a roller
privately.
coaster subscription. What level is that? Like super platinum? You and I will go to the roller coaster together?
Conversation absolutely wild, but also imagine opening a door and seeing your partner watching someone else privately blow glass for them. Because that is what they paid for.
I wouldn't be upset. I'd be confused. I'm like, why did you do it this way?
Isn't that like a 2024 version of the movie Ghost? Which one is the one with Patrick Swayze?
Someone has to be dead.
Ghost.
To be dead,
Ghost?
though.
Fuck yeah! I've never seen it shot in the dark. Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
Internet.
that's in the. That was a podcast joke somewhere.
The internet. I mean, a million
Bob's
times.
Burgers. Are you the ghost from the movie Ghost?
I've heard. Yep, Bob's Burgers. Yeah, I
Yep.
mean.
No,
I'm
I'm Ghost from movie Ghost Dad.
No, I'm Bob.
Mm-hmm. This is the modern version of that.
But
anyway,
nobody's dead in that one though.
Huh?
Wait, one of us has to be dead.
Not yet.
I don't know.
No,
man.
that's dude. No, y'all haven't seen Ghost. It's like called
I
Ghost.
think someone might be dead on the
dead.
inside if the two of us are engaging in the act of privately glass blowing for you. In a dark room.
Sound like it's explicit. It's just a private glass blowing lesson, you weirdo.
Yeah. It's just a private glass blowing session, you weirdo. See, it just depends on tone. It's the same situation, it just depends on tone.
No, it's not. You're being weird.
I'm offering YouTube Premium, which is you pay me a fee, and then I'll watch a YouTube video with ads, and then I'll recount it to you without the ads.
Or just the ads.
I wish I could hop on Gabe's YouTube Premium account. I would love no ads on YouTube.
Yeah, they probably have something to prevent that at this point.
There's got to be a family sharing plan.
For more money.
Plan. Oh, yeah, but I mean, more money, yes, but then if you each split it, it's less money. Like, is all I'm saying.
It's still more money.
Well, they might plan for more than 2.
It's probably less money for me, but not by a whole lot.
Yeah, it's more money for me.
A lot more money for you.
I just want a mooch. That's free. Moochin's free.
And I
my
can
bet
technically
is
say that I use this for work
$24.99.
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
absolutely do use this for work.
Tax
$24.99
deferral.
for ad
That's
free.
no, that's my no. Family plan ad free. It's
Oh,
$14.99 for
I
a
was
single
about
person.
to like
My
lose my
dad
noodles.
pays $84 a year for YouTube TV.
Right.
But
Yeah,
is that
no, it
just
is. It
YouTube
is something
TV?
kind of stupid. I'm pretty sure.
YouTube TV does not come with YouTube Premium.
No, I didn't
No.
think
But
so.
it used to be free. I don't get it all.
The only thing I
And
want
from
Spotify
that
was about
is
to do
YouTube
something
Premium.
terrible. I mean, I don't have Spotify, but everyone in my life has Spotify, so they're all freaking out about it.
I have Theodore TV. I don't need YouTube TV.
That's true. I also have Theodore
Theodore.
TV.
Craig, cut this out.
No ads.
Craig, cut this out. Oh man. Well, welcome all back. Man, I definitely meant to write an intro this week, but I'll have it for the thing. Some sort of like, welcome. Well, no, we don't have a title yet. Well, you don't have a title yet, so I wouldn't be able to burn that yet. Anyway, so you'll have the title by the end of the episode, and for the audience, I can put it in at the beginning of the episode, so I can record that separately.
Are we gonna have like a recap of the mechanics, because that was 2 weeks ago?
We haven't done any mechanics yet.
We didn't really even do any mechanics. We can. I mean, we
did
can.
A teeny tiny.
Your sheet's the one up on my screen right now, so we can do it like looking at your sheet, since they're all they all look the same, right? Like, it's super simple. And actually, that is a good point, because one of my check notes is to go over something we forgot to go over the first time. So yes, it's a 2d6 system. You're gonna roll your 2d6. I don't think that you ever need to roll a different dice. I think that the idea of this system is it's only 2d6. And I'm gonna try to grind towards that a lot more. There was a little bit of a stopgap in the first episode when I was trying to enforce an investigation style role, and it just doesn't fit into this game, because this game is just it's like the movie. They don't really in a movie, the main character doesn't really need to look for the clue. They will find the clue, but it's about what happens in between them finding the clue, right?
It's the consequences of the mess they make while they find the clue.
Yes, exactly. So I'm going to try to gear towards that a little bit more, which is less make an investigation check to look around, but more of examine your situation, let's learn the situation, and here's a clue. What do you do with it? We did some history stuff. That's your HX. You'll see a whole HX section. That's when I say history, that's the section I'm referring to. It will always be history with someone that you're rolling. So if you notice on yours, Grace, it is with DHAM it's +1, and with Dill it's -1. So if you make a history check with either of those, it's a different outcome, right? You have a better chance of rolling well based on your history with DHAM than based on your history with Dill. The stats are pretty straightforward. It's just about how you're being when you're doing this move. Are you being cool? Are you being hard, hot, sharp, or weird? We highlighted some stats for each other, and I've since looked up what that means. And I think it's pretty fucking funny for a lot of us. And it is in fact not advantage, me buddies. It is in fact, you mark experience when you roll those stats. So it is a way for you to gain more experience. However, for most of us, as I know, we picked negative stats. It just happened to be so that the ones we've highlighted are your shitty stats, except for Petal, her best stats. So she's in a weird place to get experience on doing her cool things. And a lot of us
I don't know what I'm doing.
I think it's more narratively fun anyway, if we're trying to weasel in bad checks to get some experience here and there. Yeah, I mean, that's mostly the game, right? The mechanics in the Legend Keeper, right? There's tabs of moves. The main basic moves is the most important section to go over. That's your investigation checks, your acrobatics checks. Those are your main core checks of the game. Tactical and support moves are when things get a little bit more granular, a little bit more I don't know. The tactical and support moves will be increase as time goes on, because we can also make moves. Like the game encourages, like, if you find yourself doing something that there's not a move for, make a move for it and put it in your, let people know that they can do that move. So this is our basic run for like tactical and support moves, but we will fill that out with like, I like to fucking wrestle when I fight, so that'll probably be maybe a different move. I don't know. It always depends. We can make something specific, or we can keep it like go aggro if you don't want to get specific with how you're fighting. Also will come up. I
like that there's room to grow into those as the role play plays out.
Yeah. Don't let this be the end all be all, but like, if you're looking for a basic thing to do, the basic moves is an easy list. If you want something more fantastic, we can talk about it and make something happen. Yeah. The gameplay tab will give you the basic core, and then some gear tags below that, of all that info. Last time we basically just did some like narrative setup. Man,
if I want experience, I have to be weird.
Oh no, not Mr. Uncanny Valley Smooth Muppet.
Damn, got you.
No,
hey, those are my words.
Those are the words I had to literally send to the artist to get something different.
Oh.
Yeah, he's a smooth Muppet with posture like the Prisoner of Azkaban werewolf.
Oh, terrible werewolf.
That's how he moves.
That's very specific.
It is exactly what I wanted.
Yeah,
a werewolf never went to Prisoner of Azkaban. That's Lupin. That's the teacher.
Use your noggin.
The book, though, not
use your noggin, though.
Also, he said
perhaps.
Not from the prison of Azkaban, but from the prisoner book of Azkaban book by Transphobe.
Oh,
we should not forget to mention that.
Prisoner.
Yeah.
Prison of Azkaban, like the werewolf that went to prison. I was like, oh, there's no werewolf in prison.
There was a werewolf that did go to prison. That's not him, but the movie with the werewolf with a very specific posture.
He's talking about the Muppet werewolf, not the details about where he came from.
His name wasn't Jesus H. Jones. It was Remus.
Not Jesus H. Jones. Remus H. Jones. No,
Greg, don't you edit a word of this out. They will listen back.
This is unlistenable.
It usually is before we begin, and we're beginning. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Dungeons, Drive-Ins, and Dice. Title redacted for now. We are returning into our players. I also have been doing some questioning to myself, and I wanted to put it to the table. I feel like it's I don't know where I stand with like a intro question for this season. Cause like over the course of, 30 episodes in the last, I find myself waiting for the end of that 10 minutes to enjoy the action. I think I was also telling Kenna that like, I find that when we're in character and we're building on a moment to the end of an episode, right? It's so much easier to be funny and flowy and like going together, whereas I don't know, I found like sometimes we just get stuck up on the like what of the intro question rather than just getting started on it, like at least myself, I don't even want to say us as a whole, but me myself, like what would you put in a time capsule? I had all day, and then I sat here around my desk for like 5 minutes being like, what the fuck is around me? Like, I don't even know what's around me. And now I'm not even in the conversation anymore at that point. And I don't know. I feel like it's something to bring up. I want to figure out the right intro flow. Does that change with seasons, or is it just intro questions, right?
I mean, let's see. I think the intro questions are a fairly decent policy because even if they are difficult to answer sometimes, because sometimes you don't just hop into it with the flow going, they do help, in a non-canon sense, let us sort of work our way back up to doing, at the table work. They do require more prep work than improv sometimes.
Would it be better if we did the question at the next week's question at the end of the session? That way you had a whole week to think about
I do
it.
feel like we've tried that.
Well, we've talked about doing
I don't know. We never actually
talked about
tried.
it once.
I don't think we've tried it since you and
execute
Mike
it.
have joined the table.
We may have,
Oh.
but if we reverse that and instead of because an intro question feels I'm just making
Also,
relations, but it feels
just
like
as
along the lines of a Dungeons and Daddies, whereas an outro question for next week feels like a Mabim Bam outro. That doesn't mean anything for
Well,
the flow of a podcast. That's just
we
where my
can't do it
brain
in the
goes.
middle. That would be weird unless we had an ad.
No.
I don't know. In the middle,
Let's
kind
break
of.
for a question.
The middle is nothing.
I mean, we have to do them. I think at the beginning of our recording is where we do them, because that is how they are helpful to us to do them.
And introduce each other and ourselves.
But if you wanna break up the episode by table chit chat, that does sound kind of fun. To jump right into the narrative of the episode and find a convenient break to do questions is interesting.
I don't.
It was a bit, but sure, I'm in.
I don't care.
I mean, no, I mean, the flow it directly does matter. I like the idea of that. I've been playing with the concept of doing character interviews for NPCs as bonus content. And I have my partner going to be doing the intro voicing for this season. I'd be interested to see what if. Well, no, because again, I agree with Gabe. I do like that. When we sit down, it centers us all into one moment together. Even if it's me thinking, I can agree with that. The flow for the episodes isn't always I don't know, there through it. It's sometimes just two separate things mashed together. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's finding that connection between the question that leads us into the narrative roleplay.
Kinda, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess is where my brain's at. It's just I've been tossing all this around, so I wanted to bring it up. This is technically
I was about to offer if it was too much responsibility if somebody else could figure out questions for you, but if it has to be a narrative, you're the one that knows the.
No, I mean it's not. It's not so. I don't know how to put it. It's just it's just a narrative breaking point in that it goes from this. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I am constantly sitting down and listening to the flow of it that I'm more focused not on this first 10 minutes of banter, but on the story portion of the episodes anyway. So that could just be a side focus that I have outside of that.
And maybe it's the fact that the questions. Maybe we need to think of the questions less of, the gameplay itself, but more of just as a warm up, a vocal warm up or a stretching before you work out. It's just a way to flex the muscles and get us ready. And it's not really for the podcast / listeners. It's for us, the players. It's just they happen to be listening to it. That's kind of how I've been thinking about it, because it's also how we get to know each other, the 5 of us, 6 if you count Craig.
I do agree.
I do, because he's looking at me.
Yeah, but he doesn't talk much.
It's true. He's the strong and silent type, our Craig.
And he doesn't need to.
He's been given access to microphones, so he'll be here
Greg listens
throughout it. Yeah.
Like it's because I think of it as not a part as an entity in itself in the gameplay. I mean, it can be if the questions actually apply to it, but sometimes it's just a way for us to like get in the mindset of, okay, it's D&D. It's at least for me, that's how I think of it. It's D&D. It's role play. It's bantery time. It's time to get my improv on or whatever.
Okay.
Which maybe that be why it feels different, because at least for me, I think of it as different.
Maybe I can gear. Maybe we can do. Maybe we can continue warm up questions, but maybe they're like in the realm. Like I even like the if we're still in this like realm of warm up questions, I like the on and off of like sometimes they're for characters and sometimes they're for the players. I like both. I like that we've been learning about both, at least in Wider World. Maybe they're like world centric. Like how would we deal with an apocalypse, or what's your favorite kind of apocalypse? What's your, I don't know,
Apocalypse
like
movie, apocalypse media, yeah.
adjacent questions to the universe of the play space? You look contemplative, Gabe.
I still don't quite understand what the problem is. Because it sounds to me like your concern is that something is happening before we start that interrupts the flow of the narrative. And so if we put anything else in front before we start, will that not also interrupt the flow of the narrative? I'm trying to understand what...
No, I mean, it was just I mean, yes, that wouldn't change for me, but if it's coming from a place of it being a me thing, like if I, as a listener of a narrative, don't particularly enjoy the like warm up question portion of it, doesn't particularly matter in the end, because I do agree that like it's good for us, the players, and us as like people at a table. I do agree, like you said, that it centers us into this like moment of being in role playing. So in the end, maybe it doesn't matter that it's like a break from it, because it gives everyone, including the audience, like a moment to like connect with us, the people in this game, like, oh shit, I do that too, or oh well, here's how I would do that, talking to the people you're listening to it with. That's
the only way to stoke the parasocial flames is to let a little bit of humanity show.
So then maybe it's finding the right bridge from the warm-up to pull us into the role play. So not like a full intro, but finding that bridge of, okay, now we've done the warm-up. Now we're going to, now the camera pans to the desolate wasteland as we climb back into the madness of the post-apocalypse.
Yeah.
Chest cavity dishes.
Yeah, some sort of like transition flourish. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think with all that, I don't know that there is a change to be made. I just a thought that I wanted to bring up and converse over. We did our check stats. I did want to start at least with a fun fact, and we can, I think, as far as a question of the day goes, I kind of like a more basic start of like, I don't know, like what's your favorite kind of apocalypse? There's a lot of different like end of the world scenarios, right? Are we talking like aliens? Are you a zombie fan? Are you a nuclear wasteland fan? Like what's your wasteland vibe? Like if you hear the word apocalypse wasteland, what is like your favorite version of that narratively? Would be the question. And if we're going to start like normal, we would need to create our flow, and we basically created it in the first episode. And I went from dill to D-ham to
Still
spigot
number 2, baby.
to pedal. Is that order a problem for anyone?
I
No.
love it. I don't have to learn anything new.
Wait, quick cue.
Me?
This is like our intro. These are our intro orders now.
Yeah, for this
Damn,
season.
3 is no longer me. Fuck.
No,
Sorry.
4 is ye.
You've been usurped in the number 3 spot.
Nah.
4 is your number.
4. Okay.
4 is more number. More number is 4.
Thanks.
What is this, golf?
Okay. Yeah. It's going to take me a second to get back into our normal flow of like intros. But for now, we'll just say we'll retake all that and say welcome back to Dungeons, Drive-ins and Dice. Fuck. Title
Perfect
redacted.
name.
Colon fuck.
Colon fuck
That's
title
perfect.
redacted. Yeah, we're back again. It's technically the second episode, which is why it's so raw, obviously. We're like ready. We've been going for months. We have no breaks, no rest to be had here. Just kidding. We haven't recorded in like 2 or 3 weeks, so we're going to get back into this. The question of the day today, we're in an apocalypse setting. The question of the day today is going to be based on just that, and probably, honestly, for a lot of this campaign. And we're talking like favorite apocalypse scenarios today. So why don't you take it away for us, Theodore? There's got to be a better handoff than that.
There has to be, but we can.
Here we are.
I have it now, so here I go with
Take
it.
away, Theodore is good.
Damn it! Now
And
the
now-
joke the whole season has to be taken away, Theodore. And I was just
It
saying to
doesn't
myself,
have to at all.
like, oh, haha,
I don't
like by
think
next
so.
episode,
I
we
definitely
can get
don't think
better.
it has to.
It's fucked. No,
yeah,
guys,
it doesn't.
I'm so sorry.
It doesn't have to be a dude's first name. But
Well, okay. But it's
There's
your,
a lot
it's
of
not
pretty
just
good,
dude. It's your dude.
there's some pretty good post-apocalypse scenarios out there.
Who are you and who do you play this season?
Well,
will
we don't
take-
need to talk about my name, but I play Dill.
You're the only person who won't have to introduce yourself this season.
Hi, I'm outed, and
My name is Take It Away, Theodore, and
I'll say take it away, Theodore, and you follow with
yeah,
Stringer
take it away is
immediately.
my first name. And I play Dill. Dill, the rubber Muppet, squeezer of electronics, dabbler, most literally in poisons and toxins, occasional metaphorical waterbearer. Dill
When?
doesn't know anything about the post-apocalypse. He only has the now. But I, man, in the 90s there was this movie, and I only saw it one time while I was supposed to be asleep in a hotel room with my entire family. And it's called Waterworld.
I've seen Waterworld. It's great.
Yeah.
While you were supposed to be asleep
It
with your
was.
whole
It was
family.
really good.
Oh, I think you and I each thought we were the only ones that were awake. But we
Awesome.
were
That's fine.
I've seen Waterworld, and my memory is very similar to yours.
We've never had another.
It's just it's
They're either siblings or clones, guys. We don't know.
I'm dying.
Bob's Burgers spoof of Waterworld is also very good.
Waterworld is really good. It's basically Mad Max, but instead of fire, it's water, and there's water everywhere. And I don't know if they quite explained where it came from. I missed that part. Maybe the glaciers melted, but that I don't know.
Sucks.
I think all the land like fell away, like sunk
Oh.
away into the ground.
It's
That's
a
even
flat Earth
better.
scenario.
Like
It's a flat
Florida.
Earth scenario. It fell away. It fell off the edge. It kept Pangaeaing until it was just gone.
Plot twist, it's only Florida that sank into the ocean, and these folks just don't know.
Florida man sinks into ocean. We get Waterworld.
Too beautiful. Anyways, that's my favorite apocalypse scenario. It's got to be Waterworld. Huh. I didn't really get to say anything about it, but we're gonna move forward. Take it away, number 2.
I'm taking it myself, and my name is
You're not gonna say his
Lawrence.
name, oh man. Take it away, number 2.
My name is number 2, and I play. Let me start with this. I play the Lucas Chop House answering machine, a lovable robot with light in his eyes and recordings in his nose. And personally, I've always been incredibly partial to zombie apocalypse media. I think that it sort of does the double feature of, you get the sort of power fantasy. Like, you can't really like punch a nuclear apocalypse. You can't really like shoot a disease. But zombies, boy, there's plenty of them to go around for that. And then there's also the sort of opposite end of that, where are the zombies the real danger, or was it us the whole time?
It's both.
And the answer is yes, it is always us. But zombies are a fun diversion and a fun narrative setting. Love zombies.
They're also a big danger. Big danger.
Mm-hmm.
I Am Legend was my first intro into zombies, and fast zombies are not the way to be introduced to zombies.
No.
Fast zombies are the
I
hardest
cannot believe
ones.
that a Will Smith movie has such
That scared
good
the pants right off of me.
on my understanding of zombies.
Good book, too.
Like, not expecting.
It's an incredible book. The
It's
book
living
is
in my backpack
the
right
book
now.
is
I haven't.
literally
I've
the
got to finish
opposite
another
of
book first.
the movie. The movie, yeah.
Yeah,
The book is incredible.
I can't believe that they're making a 28 years later, because they have running zombies. They should have just gotten everybody by then.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I ever watched
don't
28
leave.
weeks later.
I can't
I
believe they
haven't
did
seen
21
days later.
months
And I don't
later,
leave.
28 months later.
The moment I
That
hear
was
there's a
directed
sickness,
to
like
VHS.
we heard about COVID, and I was already growing like a lettuce in my basement day 2. Like, I'm fucking. you I hear
Were
there's
you?
like a no, I certainly wasn't. I was complaining while at work and delivering in the
Growing
middle of the
lettuce day
riots. So
2.
I was certainly not growing lettuce. But next time, I'm gonna grow lettuce instead.
Don't
up,
say that. You
YouTube?
take that back.
What's up, YouTube?
My
Welcome
least
to
favorite
day 2 of
apocalypse is
growing
this
lettuce.
one.
What's up,
Late
YouTube?
day 2 of Lettuce Basement.
Nothing
Lead to
has
a
changed
lettuce-
since day 1.
Lettuce
Thank
Basement
you.
And
is really good.
Can I change
No,
my
you know-
favorite apocalypse scenario to lettuce basement?
You may.
Yeah, if I was just like a regular apocalypse citizen, I would have a Lettuce Basement stream like people would have like a cat stream.
Oh yeah.
But it would for sure be a Lettuce Basement stream, or like aquaponics or something like that.
So far,
Alright,
we
guys,
have
10
Waterworld and Lettuce Basement.
10 more bits and we can flip over to the lettuce basement cam. Come on, it's cheap. Come on, let's check in.
All right, number 3. What and where
All
is
right.
your favorite apocalypse?
I am the third, and my favorite apocalypse is the unexplained overnight event where you wake up the next morning and without explanation and very randomly, like 90% of the world is just gone.
Are we doing
Social
like a Thanos
structure
snap?
is gone. No, yeah,
It is-
well, it's sort of like that. There was an old movie where and I can't even remember the name of the movie, but they came out and like 90% of the people, there were just clothing and like white powder on the ground. They were just instantly reduced to base elements.
Whoa.
Yeah, weirdly enough, that
So-
movie was called Thanos Snap.
Yeah,
The white powder was all the cocaine they did.
right. Yeah,
That's all that was left.
They just felt alone, man.
The Christian? What is that? What is?
The
Oh,
Rapture.
there it is. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanos may be able
But
to
it's-
remove most of the humans, but he can't do the cocaine for some reason.
Yeah, no, got to leave that. So it's like 90% of the population is gone. Social order is gone. Infrastructure is gone. So you're at the point where these small pockets have survived. And then all structures and everything is still intact. So it's a question of how do you survive when you know supplies are limited? They're not going to last forever. There is no social structure. It's not like you can build a fortress with a lot of people in it and start farming and survive.
You don't need.
You
a
must
big
have
fortress, you
feelings
just need a
about the
basement.
stand then, huh?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
That's for a different intro. That's for that. My next intro is, what are your feelings on the stand?
Okay, wait though. Grace, have you read The Stand?
The second person whose
no
name you got said
spoilings.
out.
All right, number 4. Contestant number 4.
Your turn. My turn. Hi, my name is Grace, as stated by Theodore.
Hi, Grace.
Never called him that. I felt weird in my mouth.
Feels weird in ours
And-
too, but we're getting used to it.
I guess apocalypses, it's weird to have a favorite because they're not great in general.
No, that's true. None of
yeah.
them. You should
But,
take the moral
Apocalypse
high ground,
Media,
Grace.
Just
Yeah,
the one.
apocalypse media. If we're talking, well, I mean, the media.
We don't
was
have
not
to be
the
so
question.
literal in the actual fictional world that we're playing in.
Well, the
Well,
question
okay, look, I don't
was, "What's your
love
favorite
it,
apocalypse?"
but none of them. Take
Okay.
the
No,
moral
I
high
love
ground.
mine.
I don't like
I
them. They
think-
hurt people.
All right, let me answer the question. I tell you, Jesus.
I want it to happen tomorrow.
Craig hurt. Craig knows. Craig knows my troubles.
We're in for a rowdy one tonight.
I guess my favorite apocalypse media. I think it's just a really, really good movie, and the concept itself doesn't really make a lot of sense, but it's fine. It was a good movie. I liked A Quiet Place. I don't think anyone would have made it, if it happened. Not like how John Krasinski and Emily Blunt made it. But I do respect the hell out of a movie about killing kids in the first 5 minutes. As an apocalypse movie that really sets like, damn, this really is an apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's off the table is what that
That-
says.
That movie.
Mhm.
That's a good pull because I saw that one in theaters and that was the best theater experience I've ever had. Not a sound.
Everyone was also a quiet placing.
Mhm,
Conversely, mine was the
made the
Minecraft
miss
theater.
it.
movie.
I miss it, man.
Yeah.
That's a good monster too.
Yeah, I just think that as a concept in
I
terms
appreciate
of
a good
like,
movie monster.
yeah, as a term or like apocalypse, I think we all would be dead. We'd all be wiped out. If the hearing is
Mhm.
as good as this movie claims, we'd all be so freaking dead. One poot, we're done.
Not me. I
Like,
could be
people
so
are just-
quiet.
I don't
I'm just
fart.
practical about it, Gabe. Don't laugh. Okay, people's bodily functions function. Okay.
I smoke way too much.
Yes, and
weed.
mine would absolutely kill me within the first day. It's fine. I
This is
can
gonna
find
be
it
Scary
funny.
Movie 6 when like they're hiding behind a group of boxes and someone's like sparking up a joint and the monster's like, "Hello, I see you," and they're like, "Oh no, not my joint."
In Big Hero 6, there's joints in Big Hero 6.
No, what? I said Scary
Scary
Movie
Movie
6.
6.
I was like,
Oh, I heard big movie. I heard.
Yeah,
I
they're
need to get a
totally
Q-tip.
smoking in Big Hero 6.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, what version did you see? I want to see that one.
they don't tell you, but he actually is just one big doobie.
Hoobie.
I feel like there's an apocalypse movie where a bunch of celebrities play themselves, and I feel like I saw it in a state where I can't really remember it, but I remember that feeling very
Yeah, Emma
different
Watson's
to-
in that movie.
Yeah, Jonah Hill,
Which movie is this?
Channing Tatum plays a
I
little
think it's
sex
called
slave.
This Is the End or something
This
like
is
that.
the end.
Yeah.
Oh, it's when the
Yeah, the
celebrities
one with
are
all the
playing
famous
themselves
people.
in Hollywood. Yeah.
It's like Backstreet Boys are in heaven or something. I don't know.
It's an
Love
interesting
all the
concept,
famous
but it does
people.
get out of hand.
They actually like
It's on the tail
Michael
end of
Cera
that.
has had some hilarious
Love Michael
interviews
Cera.
about his role in that movie. and how he came on set and was just like, yeah, I'm gonna be that guy, guys, and everyone was like, fuck yeah, you're that guy now, and he was just that guy for the rest of the movie. Like every time they needed someone to be the heel, it was Michael Cera being like, come on guys, we need to get it. Like that's so fucking funny.
I recently watched Scott Pilgrim,
Great
the movie, and oh my
Incredible.
gosh, Michael Cera is so funny, and so is
10
his
of
little.
10.
Well, who's the actor that plays the friend? Like the roommate?
I think you're
The gay
thinking of
roommate?
Jonah Hill from Superbad.
No,
No. Sorry.
no. The gay roommate.
He was excellent in that movie. I do remember that, and I watched that movie on an iPod Classic.
Fuck yeah, you
God.
did. Oh my god. Like right up
An
to your
old-fashioned
eyeball.
sentence.
2 iPod classics at the same time so I could have full vision. Talk
And it's
about
7
Google
o'clock,
Glass. And I'm M. I'm the GM. We're gonna have a better flow for our intros leading up to this later, but
Not if I can help it.
not if. Yeah.
Take it away, Theodore.
Take it away, Theodore. Nope.
It's
Hey
like,
everyone,
Jesus take the wheel.
when last we spoke,
Do we level
Instead of
up this
Jesus
time
take
or
the wheel, we
what?
just say, take it away, Theodore.
My favorite I'm M. I'm the GM this time around. Eventually, I'll figure out how to do it all, and I have a favorite apocalypse scenario as well. Probably. That's gonna be. I was thinking. I like the idea. I don't have an actual like go watch this media reference, but the sort of like long post-apocalypse. Like think world has retaken. Like you're living in the. You're like re-natives, you know what I mean? You're like I don't want to use that word, but like you're like the land has taken and you live in the trees and the woods, but like there's ruins in there, you know what I mean? Like people
Return to
jumping through
nature.
Yeah.
Like
My
Adventure Time.
Oh, fuck! Oh,
Sorry.
Grace! Oh my god!
Oh god,
I
I'm
was
so
gonna
sorry.
say
Did you shit
Planet of the
yourself?
Apes.
I'm so sorry.
Yes, because I just spent that long explaining it. I got a tattoo about 5 days
God.
ago of the treehouse from Adventure Time, and I couldn't
Yes, you
think of
did.
Adventure Time. That's why I was
Oh, you
screaming.
know, that's so
I
funny.
I did check it out. It's actually the best tattoo I've ever like. It's just crazy.
I was gonna say Margaret Atwood does some work in that space, but yeah, no, Adventure Time, absolutely.
Nice.
Oh, that's
It's such a good tattoo.
beautiful.
Yeah, that's a good
Good
tattoo.
work.
Okay, I'll send you guys a better picture of it, but like.
So,
Fuck yeah.
audio
It's got
listeners,
such
it's
detail.
it's a
Next,
tattoo.
the
It's on an
bicep's gonna
arm.
be huge too. He's gonna auto make the bicep really big when he sends it to us. This is my real
When
arm,
he
guys.
flexes, the tree dances.
It's true. It's true. But yeah, honestly, yeah, the Adventure Time idea where the apocalypse is so far long ago, but we're still like it's our new world. And I don't want that to be self-referential now that I'm talking about it to the world we're playing in, but more to be like, I like the idea, like when nature re-overtakes. We're not still dealing with it, but like once nature has retaken. A natural apocalypse, if you will. Complete with scientists with weird quirks and kinks, sucks and blades and shit. But you can really do whatever you want at that point in your history. So,
Joke for two people.
I know, and that
But
honestly,
they were
the whole
both
time,
there.
and they were both here and there, and I was thinking about that the entire time. Like, am I about to isolate? I am. I think I'm gonna do
And
it.
2
I
people
thought
excluded.
as every no.
We can talk about
Well, yeah,
that in a
actually,
second.
you're right.
Craig.
Yeah, I mean, do you
Only 2
want that
people
tangent
excluded.
right now in the middle of the
Nope,
podcast?
after the session.
I couldn't even get to it. Anyway, we're back in it, talking about apocalypses. We are facing one. We are on this planet. It's a stationary planet. Mostly, we're in this town, the town of Tedville. We, last session, introduced our characters. We have Dill, Spigot, Petal, and D-Ham all living in this town, a part of this community. I don't know. It's hard to like think of the bigger points don't particularly matter. I think when you live in this community and your water is dying. The Spigot, the Waterbearer, is with the help of Petal spending the days waiting for backup from the source itself way upriver, so that he can get to the bottom of this investigation to find out where their backup engine went. Yeah, D-Ham's dealing with the crowds, Pedal working with Spigot, and Dill just existing in the junkyard. He has junk to take care of, and has batteries to squeeze. And that is where we are. Planet stuck in stasis. Indeed. Yeah. Let's think. It's been rough as of late. Over the past few weeks, things have dwindled down into about I think where we left it off was about half a gallon of rations per person per day. Upon some research, in any sort of environment, a human requires about half a gallon of liquid a day to survive, and in hotter environments, up to double of that. And so my thoughts for this, based on we had some pretty negative roles for controlling the overall populace of the town and making things easy for them last session. And so what I think that ends up in is people have begun drinking more to supplement that liquor or that liquid that they are missing, because they have to get so much liquid per day, and they're only given so much liquid per day. You don't have juices, you don't have milk in the fridge, right? You have water, and then you have the thing that people have turned water into. In this case, liquor. I think that many people have begun to supplement themselves, trying to push away the anxieties of not having the proper, water specifically that we need. That has led to a little bit more unrest in the city. There have been some scuffles over food and supplies, though not water, because everyone knows the consequences of fighting over and stealing water. They don't want to have it all taken from them, but the food doesn't have those rules over it, and so there are some fights over food and supplies here and there. There's some scuffles, right? This isn't turf war yet, but people are starting to I'm bigger than you, I need more food kind of style over the past few weeks. And at the open of this day that we are on, the folks manning the walls just sort of eyeing the surrounding lands, scope that it's that vision you get, the sort of, I'm gonna figure out how to say it. They scope at first what seems to be First, what seems to be, it's a hot day, right? At first, it's the general waviness of the lines that mirage as your vision passes through the heat that's in front of you off in the distance in a hot environment, as the the waves lining off the asphalt that blurs things shimmer. And gives you that shimmer
distortion.
The distortion of the heat of the day is a regular occurrence here as you just stare out into the wastes outside of town. That general heat shimmer is probably always at the edge of your vision. It's always the same temperature, pretty much. It's always bright. It's always there. So at first it's nothing to worry about, but that shimmer intensifies for those standing on the wall and becomes more readily apparent and present, though maintaining a shimmer. By the time it approaches the walls, there are even more folks that have been called up to scope out this situation. Something strange. This shimmer is moving differently. It's like a mirage that's on the move. Though as they approach, it becomes much easier to see them as they are within, half a mile or so. The shimmer starts to wear its way off, and you are able to see what looks like a concrete truck, a big 18-wheeled vehicle moving through the deserts with a massive tube on its back, constantly spinning, laced with this like black obsidian. And you can see the way that like the sun is reflecting off of it. It seems to be like shifting side to side as it's driving straight towards these gates. Though with the any sort of I don't know, like binoculared vision of the situation that the folks on the walls have, they are able to spot markings of the Waterbearers. And they arrive with a pretty large rotating drum on the back of this truck filled with, you can hear the sloshing inside. And they pull up. They speak with a little bit with the guards, and they move on in. And the truck parks outside of the compound that is taking care of the water. What did we call that? Not a factory, a something. Getting stuck up on too many very specific words and don't need to. Spigot, this truck has arrived. I'm certain that you've been told of it as it's arrived. What kind of prep work have you been doing for knowing that this contact from the source is coming? What I will tell you about them is I think in your organization, I've spent some time thinking about this. This person is going to be from a group called the Founts, F-O-U-N-T. They are like your, man, they're the closest you can get to like the hardcore militia of it. They're coming to like set in stone how water will be treated while you are away. They're not here to, they don't know the people of your town, right? They're not here to be friends. They're here to control water while you are away. They're a lot more militant, a lot more brutish. But the Fount is coming. What is your prep work like as you know the Fount is approaching on the horizon?
Obviously, we will have done everything we can to maintain the filtration system. I will have made detailed notes for where we are in rationing, and I will make note of any citizens that are likely to be more problematic sooner than others, so that the brother or sister of the Fount will be aware of who to be on guard for first.
And number one on that list is...
Oh, is it got to be D-Him? I mean, I know you don't drink,
DM's
but you're
off
trying
the back,
to get
just
water.
fucking fist pumping.
He's he's trying to get water for his client, so he's going to be trouble.
That's true. DM's first in line. I need water to wash these dishes. The guests are tired of sand.
Press 1 for sandblasting. Press 2 for sandblasting.
Everyone's screaming. They're tired of sand. D-Ham. The tavern. Nope. Brothel. Bordel. The bordel itself is abuzz with discontent right now. Also, drunk and dehydrated people. Right? Like they are dehydrated. They're getting liquid anyway.
That's a good combo.
The water-bearing truck approaches your compound and stops outside, a crowd beginning to gather. The passenger door opens up, and a woman in a long robe, beige like the sand that she steps into, trimmed with the light blue that marks the water bearers like trimmings, a deep crimson red version of the crest on her chest marking the Founts. She steps down, the sun blasting her. She has a soft face, doesn't seem like it's seen much of the open air. It's very, very light, pale in comparison. She looks around with a bit of I don't know. She's got these. As she steps down, she squints her eyes and peers around the area in front of her. Some people even stepping back, like trying not to be the person looked at as she like scans over the crowd. The truck turns off and she turns hard in the dust, kicking up a little bit of sand behind her, and moves swiftly and into your compound.
Excellent. And I would be there to greet her with all the flourish of the water bearers and our formality when greeting the
Do
fount.
you have a title in this organization? Since I've given the title to this like group of folks, the Founts, do you have a title, or are you are you just like an untitled like? I don't want to give make sure I don't want to.
Do you have like a rank?
Yeah, is there a title?
That is, that is
I
a
also have a
fabulous
question for Lawrence when there's a
not,
moment.
I had not considered a rank, but obviously to reach the point where they will leave you alone in a town, you would have to have some sort of rank or status. But the question is, what rank would be fitting and would be water appropriate?
We've got. I think new recruits that are challenged or like trained are called sewage.
Well, yeah, that makes sense because they've got to be purified.
It's the lowest version, right?
They can,
yeah.
So then, what is the most pure? And then what's in the middle? If it's sewage, is the lowest. Your mud? Puddle?
Yeah,
Muddy
you could
puddle?
use from sewage to mud to like maybe you escalate to pond water. And then you work your way up to flowing stream.
Flowing
and then river.
Well, you could also lean more towards the religious instead.
Okay, let's think about this. Pond water is something we've already got sewage, which takes care of dirty water generally. We could think about like natural water being something. Natural isn't the word.
Stream,
but
streams are pure usually. Pure water from ice fall.
The flow, perhaps. Given that natural water generally has a current.
Yes, and flowing water tends to be cleaner than still water.
You could also think about the flow as like the hands of the organization, the part that moves, that changes. You could a step past that, perhaps a step past the middle. You could call the filtered.
Ooh, and the filtered really tracks for like a water bearer taking care of a community. They're the ones that do the filter,
and then it's not sterilized, but I feel like there's another word, and
purified.
Perhaps decontaminated is closer. Something like
I like purified.
Purified is good.
What do you? Purified water, yes. What's the like?
It is closer to like decontaminated and sterilized and like chlorinated almost like
the cleanse.
So like cleansed or distilled.
Distilled is good.
Is fire. Distilled is fire.
Okay.
Okay. Distilled is like the top of the pyramid.
Yeah.
Sewage, filtered, distilled. Founts are like the militant like sidearm, and then I think the source is a single person also.
You should write that. We should write that down.
Fount is Fount then is a is the
thanks, Craig.
The militant arm of the flow.
Yeah.
There you go. Yep.
And you could talk about how like you guys are trying to cleanse trying to purge out, the unfiltered.
A lot of negative connotation words.
Yeah, I feel like the table doesn't love these people.
I mean, militant religious organization.
While we're writing this down, I have a question for Lawrence.
Hello, I'm Lawrence.
Hey, are you? Is Dham at the front of the line? Is Dham currently in line?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Who mans the shop when Dham's not around?
The other waitress whose name I don't remember. Chandri?
Chandri, yeah.
Chandri?
Okay, well...
Yeah, Chandri handles it, like... Most of
Chandra's
the crowd
got-
is here.
Chandra's going to deal with a knock at the door,
Love it.
a dill in the window, if you will.
A dill in the window.
Dill in the window's worth two in the
There's
bush.
the name of the episode right there.
Oh,
A dill in the window is really solid.
it's worth two in the bush.
Press 2 for dill in the window.
Press 1 if you would like your meal to be watched by a yellow man.
Anyways,
yeah. Yes, let's tackle this first. So she enters. Let me turn the light on also because it has darkened since I started. Darkest look next to me. Okay. Yes, 1 second. Let me consider. I like these routes. That was mostly so she had an entrance, I think. She pushes in the front door, swings on its hinge in its creaky fashion, and bangs against the wall, and she enters, her shadow darkening. It's the light, her shadow darkening the light that is sort of streaming in now. And she eyes over the place with practiced gaze, scoping the corners, scoping the side table, like hitting all the places that you look when you're trying to clean up for someone who's supposed to be coming in. She's like really detailing her vision over, and then her eyes pass over you, and she huffs a moment and says, flow spigot, I presume. She
Indeed.
scans a clipboard. I have been sent to maintain your facilities while you get a grasp on the chaos. There it is. On the chaos plaguing your town.
Indeed. The chaos is a result of the engine pieces that never arrived to replace defective equipment here.
Indeed. She marks something on her clipboard, and what is Petal up to on this day? We know that the fount is approaching. We've heard word as she's approaching. Is Petal still manning the facility? Has something been done with Petal? What's the vibe here between the two of you?
I think that it's gotten to the point that Petal is almost always manning the filtration system, because I think we've gotten to the point that the quick fix that she has found works, but for like a little bit, and then it'll break down again, and then it'll work, and she has to redo it, and then it'll work. So we get a little bit more water, and then it breaks down. She has to do her trick again, and then it'll work. And that's what I think it is. So I think that she's almost always there. And then when it's like, and then when they're on like running, like bouts of running, that's when she'll sleep or she'll go and get food or, whatever it is.
There's a clang from behind Spigot as Petal is, finagling a piece of this machine back into working order. And she stops and peers again at her clipboard and then scowls and looks back up at you and says, as far as my records show, you are supposed to be solo manning this station.
Indeed. And when the station is in working order, I can handle it solo. However, without the necessary parts, I have had to bring in help to maintain water distribution to the town.
She marks something with a flourish on her clipboard and with a purpose moves to move past you. Moves to just stream right past you and towards you.
Yeah. I allow the fount to flow past.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
And she does. And Petal, behind you, the door is abruptly shoved open, and the fount is standing behind you, this very imposing woman, who, as you scan back maybe over your shoulder, is scowling down her nose at you. And she doesn't even really stop to talk to you. She just spins around on a dime back to you, Spigot, and says, "What is the meaning of this?"
We've already discussed that I had to bring in additional help to maintain the equipment.
She puts her clipboard in like a little, there's a bag on the side of her, like a pouch specifically for the clipboard. It was like a handheld clipboard, like a mini clipboard. She slides into the pouch, and she tisks you and turns around and says, "Young lady, stand for me."
I look for a second over her shoulder at Spigot, and then I just flip for a fraction of a second and see that he's, letting her act like this, so she must be important, because I don't really know the Waterbearer hierarchy. I haven't seen it written down. And so I stand up and I take off I've got my work gloves on, but I'd stand up and I'd kind of dust off my gross, nasty mechanics uniform, because I've literally been here ever working, keeping an eye on this. I just stare at her like, yeah. I don't say anything.
And she meets your gaze with a I want to call it like a cowing power. You know what I mean? Like you feel I'm bad at conflict. And the right person powers me down. I'm willing to look away. And then question myself later on why I looked away. Let me see this.
Petal has a feeling that she's been looked at by people scarier than her. She can't remember, but she's not cowed. She just stares back.
Dan,
this lady she can stare at me as hard as she wants. I'm
for sure.
Yeah, I'm standing. What else
I would
did
like
you want?
to. This is do something under fire for sure. It isn't the fire of physical harm, but this is like a societal standing sort of fire. Let's see if you can meet her gaze. You're gonna roll plus cool when you do something under fire or dig in to endure. Roll plus cool. Can you meet her gaze without being intimidated? Basically,
and it's rolling 2 of them, not just 1.
Yep, 2d6 plus your cool stat.
Okay, that's 5 plus 5, which is 10. Plus my cool, which is my legend. Oh fuck, my legend keeper crashed. Okay, give me a quick sec. My battle with legend keeper rages on.
No, that's okay.
Unless
This is a good moment.
Take a quick peek.
Cool.
Your cool is 0.
Cool is plus 0.
Oh, okay, that's a 10.
But a 10 is a total success. You stand and turn around and square your shoulders and meet her in the face. And this moment lasts longer than would normally make you comfortable. But you know that she's just trying to like literally cow you. She's trying to like show you that she's in control of this situation and that she's going to take control of it.
It's certainly making Spigot uncomfortable.
Spigot's like shifting in the background, but you don't break her gaze as she meets you. And finally, by the end of that, she actually drops her chin to meet you like head on. She's no longer looking down her nose at you. And she says, "And how is it that you have come to know the workings of our machine here?"
Well, my name's Petal. Nice to meet you, ma'am.
Ain.
And pardon?
Ain.
Ain. Sorry. Yeah, hello, Miss Ain. I don't reckon know the truth be told. How I know how to fix this? When I was found, I pretty bad, nasty head injury. I kind of like moved my hair to kind of show the healing wound on my head still.
Mhm.
Because I feel like it hasn't been that long. I don't really remember how long it's been, but based on my wound knowledge, it'd still be there.
Sure.
And uh, and so I kind of gesture back, and it looks like janky with the fix. Whatever the fix is, it shouldn't work, but it does, just based on how I know.
Literally,
Which I don't.
she has you stopped as you're holding a string that's connecting, and you're like, "I'm trying to wrap it up."
And so I just kind of, and then I kind of try to laugh because I don't know how to explain it, and I just kind of shrug her like, I mean, look at it. It works. I don't know how.
What? If I missed the message, it doesn't look like I did. What is your number? Did you? Well, actually, I am okay.
You said I had to like
saying that your number is 800 whatever 135 800-135. We can just have it be on your that's fine. My question is, did you get above 800-135 or not? Like, did you hit that score that I challenged you with?
Oh! You're talking
pinball.
about
I am.
In pinball, I had no idea that any of that was connected. I literally thought you sent me this app and was like, "Hey, try and use this app."
Nope.
I did not get higher than that. No.
Okay.
I was not.
That's fine.
I
Your
was
number
not good at the
can be
game.
that no matter what. It's more of
It
like
doesn't have to be boobies. I mean, it can be any number.
I like your number being just literally whatever you want your number to be. I thought since we've had 3 weeks, I've now had time to think, and I think the more concept was if you could reach the score I challenged you with, you would get. It's like a pass versus a not having reached that and is a quote unquote fail, but it's not like a fail. It's not like you haven't
when
failed.
it was presented to me that like that's a scar are numbers, it's not just a scar, it's numbers. The two numbers I thought of were boobs and 24601, which we already used in our first ever campaign that I did with you guys.
Yeah, but well, I
my
guess
number
that's
knowledge
DOG's
is not very many numbers. Yeah, I'm not I'm blessed with
8675.
63122 was my childhood zip code.
I want to did the artist actually put like numbers there, or did they put things that look like numbers?
We can do my father's cell phone number.
They for sure put 800-8135, dude.
Oh, yes.
Way.
It's boobies.
If you zoom in, it is for sure boobies on the side of your face. That's
which is ironic because the artist also gave me giant boobies, even though I was like ambiguous.
Okay, those will be removed. We did say ambiguous twice. I would say more ruffles were added under your boobies when we said ambiguous, but the boobies were not removed.
Yeah, it was just like accentuated the boobies even more. I'm like,
I actually agree with that for sure. We will either have them removed
first, but I was like, man,
the clothing.
No, you just ask the artist if have they watched Dungeon Meshi?
Right. Yeah. No.
Is that what they thought you meant?
We got some notes and we're moving. I think we're gonna.
You should watch Dungeon Meshi. Sister of mine, we should have an anime night because there are some very good anime that I need to show you.
Dungeon Meshi is.
I mean, as long as it's not like
top tier.
I didn't like.
No, I've been showing you some unpleasant anime, and I should not have started there.
I liked Kaguya. That's delightful.
No, that was delightful, and I should have gone more in that direction and less in the other direction.
I
Kaguya
I
and
hate
Toradora are the
slice of
only
life
ones that I've
animes.
seen.
Kaguya is 10 of 10.
Toradora is 10 of 10.
Toradora is 12 of 10.
Oh, and I guess the one that I told you about, Gabe, that was the girls that became superheroes that helped endangered animals, and like they became superheroes that were across the endangered animal, and they were like alien elves that were here to destroy the animals. And you're like, that sounds fire. I'm like, it was fire. I only watched it on YouTube when I was in middle school when it felt like weird to do that.
Sailor Moon.
because
Is it
of
a
our-
Sailor Moon arc?
No, it's not Sailor
Sounds like
Moon.
Sailor Moon arc.
Sometimes
It sounds
I'm
a lot like a Sailor Moon arc.
sometimes
No,
I'm
it's not. It was a whole
nostalgic
show.
for sometimes I'm nostalgic for watching an episode of anime split into 3 parts in like 144p on YouTube.
I did do some of that YouTube sit. Yep.
As a total side note, am I the only one that noticed that her name was Fountaine?
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring it up, but I was muted at the time, so I just didn't.
Okay. All right.
I straight up
The-
didn't
the
know.
Let it pass, and it just
not
kept,
me
it kept
laying in
recycling.
bed thinking
Yeah.
the word
Not me.
fountain. They're all founts, and I'm just like, I was trying to go to bed, and I was about to fall asleep, but now I can't.
I hope you made that sound out loud. Poor
I
Kenna.
I did. She woke up and rolled over and said, "Stop screaming about your RPG game, please. You always do this." And I said, "I can't. They're founts." So, it's like night terrors, but it's joy.
Night joys.
Joy terrors.
I wake up with
no.
night joys,
Night joys.
It's not great for my sleep
yeah,
schedule,
Night
but I
joys
wake
doesn't
up with
sound great. Maybe we'll move past that.
press
My
2
favorite
for
type
night
of
joys.
apocalypse is Night Joys.
Dungeons,
Tokyo
drivers,
Mew
and
Mew.
dice.
Tokyo
night
Mew
joys.
Mew. That's what it was called. It was called Tokyo Mew Mew. I'm so
glad we
vindicated.
waited
I
long enough
googled
for
it.
that to come up. Oh,
Tokyo Mew
Yeah,
Mew.
yeah.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to go on a quick media adventure here.
I first saw the
mean, if
manga
we're-
in high school when I was in middle school at the county library, and I felt like it was like, oh my gosh, anime, and I felt so like crazy for getting it because of our Christian house upbringing.
what is this?
You know, I
Why
would
are
have
there
I would have raised an eyebrow at
breasts?
you.
How does
be fair.
Fontaine like anime?
Fountain
Okay.
hates anime.
Tokyo.
The rest of
Fountain
the
is
founts
not
will have
winning any
shitty,
favors.
shitty names. None of them will be this good. This one is the only one we will talk about. Fountain Gym
Fountain
will
is like
never
a
come
fount
up.
of youth.
Mount Jim. Oh my god.
Is there like a fount of youth?
Oh
or
my
a-
god.
Fount of
2002
Youth is good.
Tokyo Mew Mew.
See,
2002
And it
Tokyo
was
Mew
good,
Mew is
alright?
also a good
I
title
like
for an
Mew
episode.
Mew Power
Yeah.
anime based
For
on
no
one of
reason. I
Tokyo
will
Pop's
cut all of this
best-selling mangas, now available in select stores. Okay.
Wow.
Very,
Okay.
very select stores.
Yeah.
Alone.
The selection is
That's-
dwindling day by day.
The last Barnes and
Why is this
Noble you can still
vulnerable
find.
here?
They made a new one in 2022.
Of
I was
course they did.
vulnerable.
Because
It's
they
making
still
a
can't come
comeback.
up with new ideas, so they're gonna even refresh Tokyo Mew Mew before they are
Thank
willing to
you.
commit to a new idea. It's fucking bullshit, dude.
No, yeah.
These are my
but they-
real thoughts on current media, by the way. It's absolute
Big
garbage
facts.
trash. Yes.
Every
it's
now and again,
absolute
they'll
trash.
adapt something pretty solid. As far as media
Yes,
adaptations
agreed.
go, I do have another
It's-
one to show you that
It happens,
I think
but
would be pretty fun.
fucking do
I
something.
haven't watched
new,
it yet,
dude.
but the concept is hysterical, and I feel like it's an easy basket.
TV writers since I don't know 2018 have been fucking lazy. Not TV writers. Actually, I'm gonna take that back. The TV studios themselves, what they
They're
are
just about to
willing to
cancel you
produce,
so hard.
Yeah.
what they are
It's
willing
fear.
to produce have
It's
been
fear.
It's bananas. It's
Fucking
bananas because there's
lazy.
so much good media out there to be adapted.
I would
Not
agree
laziness,
that it's
fear.
I would agree that it's fear, but there are also people who are willing to move past the fear
Agreed.
before that and not anymore. Like we could see with like Rebecca Sugar and the rest of the main cast of Adventure Time, when you get the last episode, they actually said fuck you studio and let the characters kiss because they were tired of like the studio saying that they couldn't do that. And like you can have people that can produce a powerful enough show that they can still do what the fuck they want when it's a good enough thing. And you can conquer that fear when you can produce good fucking work. But when you can't produce good work, like, you get constant copies of shows. That's why we're getting a third fucking re-release of any show you can point to from early 2000s. Just point to one. I would be willing to bet there's a redo of Ren and Stimpy, like, somewhere fucking out there. You know what I mean? Like, people are just, it's so, oh man, sorry, that gets me going. The whole media fucking environment right now is so cowardly. Just do something new. I agree, it's fear, but like, let's grow up. We're all afraid. Anyway, we're not talking about media. We're talking about Fontaine.
We're making it.
This isn't even in the podcast.
Making it. This isn't even in the podcast. I'm gonna save it and think, like, what can I do with this? But I don't know if anything. It'll be saved in a side folder.
Posted on our Am I Overreacting?
Fuck. Everyone just no underneath. Anyway. Fontaine is confronting you. I'm gonna take a little side note since I have spent so long just yelling about media. Let's fade over. I like the idea of DM waiting in line. DM, after this very powerful lady who commanded silence over the crowd, walks inside out of the driver's side, gets out a very tall, very well put together, black, very sleek robot. They get down from the driver's side seat, and without even really like scanning the crowd, they climb a ladder on the side and actually sit down into like a fully like 360-degree turret on top of this driver cab and just start slowly spinning the gun, scanning the crowd. It's not, I feel like there's like ways that, I mean, there are very, very clearly ways that people do things. This robot is not aiming at the crowd. This robot is sitting in this thing with a gun on it and using it to turn themselves and look at the crowd. And you
press 1 for I want that job.
Sure. But you know, there's a different vibe. They're not aiming at people, but they're using it to scan the crowd. And they have a big gun. But they haven't said anything. Do you do anything out here, D-Ham? What's your vibe? Besides
press
saying, I
2
want that
for
job.
Can I have my water now? 2.
That's funny. Actually, it took me a second. There's a few bleeps. There's a few other people around you in the crowd that also like begin clamoring like, yeah, when's the water coming up? I want water. I need water.
Ew.
Where's my water? My children need water. And there's a few bleeps and bloops from the robot, and from a speaker on the bottom of its headpiece, a voice comes out that says, water will be distributed as rations allow. What's the right word? Rations. Yeah, as rations allow. Who did we lose? We didn't lose anyone. Theodore dropped his mic. That's okay. As rations allow. Not to anyone in particular, right? But just to the crowd at whole to respond to the crowd.
I've been here since this morning.
Please form.
What is morning?
Please form. What is morning? Please form an orderly line. Oh boy, I've had to think.
Seize by force move here.
What is a seize by force move? Seize by force is an action. For sure.
As a roll plus hard move.
I don't want to do that.
Fair enough.
Seize by force.
I don't have a gun like that gun.
That's a big
I don't even
gun.
have any guns. But I know a gun when I see a gun.
Please form an orderly line, and water will be distributed as rations allow.
DM blinks with his flashlight eyes and then turns around to the orderly line gathered behind him, and then blinks again and looks right back up to the robot and says, 2. 2.
Please form an orderly line, and water will be distributed as rations allow. And people start to like clamber over this. There's a little bit of like, I don't know, not distrust, but I don't know, restlessness in the crowd, I guess.
Yeah, we're drunk.
Dill, I heard there was a knock at the bordel door. I'll say that the bordel is pretty busy. Anyone not waiting in line virtually for water is here trying to get their liquid fill at the moment. With alcohol.
Well,
what is your approach to
they
the
best be
bordel?
making way. Because Dill is here and Dill is nervous. And when Dill is nervous, Dill sweats. And Dill sweats like he's in a Gatorade commercial, complete with the colors.
That's a liquid.
The different colors.
And yeah, the blue, preferably, if I get a choice.
The Gatorade commercial.
And his sweat may or may not steam lightly in the on any surface, perhaps leaving light burns. Who knows? Anyways, he's in here and he's dripping. And he says, barmaid.
Yeah. That's Chandra very clearly.
Ah, yes. Where can I find ham?
Give me 1 second. And Chandra sprints down the end of the bar, grabs a glass, he fucking hurls it behind him, and it shatters on the ground. He picks up a different glass and throws it on the counter and sloshes some liquid into it. It's about halfway full when he pushes it towards the person who he stole the glass from first. And then he comes running down the bar, dead sprinting. He probably knocks over, clanging some bottles as he passes by. God. Deham, fuck. He's waiting in line for the water. None of our glasses are clean. Oh God, I gotta clean up some glassware. Can I get you something?
Dill is gone as soon as he hears waiting in line for water. He like lopes with all of his legs out like over some tables. Splish splash goes the Dill sweat. And out the window into the morning or whatever.
It's all the same time of day. I have
Dill is headed for the line, but sleek robot manning a turret will be immediately distracting for Dill when he arrives on the scene here.
Clambering. Big arms climbing over people, sweat dripping into glassware. People weirdly enjoying their new beverage, huh? As Dill
I don't like that.
Breaks a window and climbs out and then moves through the crowd trying to wait in line, sort of wait in crowd, I'll say, on the outside of the door. Chandri alone, because everyone else has the Saturday, quote unquote, off, and no one really wanted to come in and help him out because they all had appointments and stuff. So they really couldn't. I'm so sorry, Chandri. I got
appointments and stuff.
I got you next time, Chandri. They all texted him back, but they really don't. And Chandri's alone today and is stressed as Dill shatters the window to leave. He moans quick, and then goes back to running up and down the bar to serve his customers. Dill climbing like a spider. I would like to imagine not enough to give him a power of wall climb, but like just on the edge of a wall as he's moving his way towards.
Do his hands make gross sounds when they touch?
Well, they're wet, right?
Doesn't always mean it makes.
I don't want to input that, but I imagine that they're wet, so there's at least a slapping sound.
Wait, what was the first question?
Does it make a sound when his hands touch the surface versus feet
Like
that
when
are
he's
wearing?
moving quick, does he like? Is it like a wet slap or is
Or
it?
is he barehanded or is he wearing a suit?
No, the picture is mostly just for a reference of what he looks like, kind of. No mustache, no suit. What is Dill's outfit? Overalls, I think.
What's the fit?
Big overalls. But he never has to take them off or change them, so do with that what you will.
Pardon me as I text the artist real quick.
He never has to. I mean, no one's gonna make
Fucking
him.
Big overalls, this man says.
Yeah, I was gonna say has to is such an interesting choice.
I'm just trying to think,
not to.
like he doesn't. He's
Besides?
pretty airtight except for his liquids, and apparently now the sweat.
Yeah,
He's not
liquids
he's
and
not sweat
overalls
tight.
don't
He's
usually
airtight.
mix.
I guess I'm kind of airtight too if I hold my breath.
No, you're not.
Well,
There's a lot of gaps in that build.
If I hold my breath and I clench my butt.
Yeah, there's too many holes to
That's the
cover,
only
Have
man.
gap
a
I
good
was talking
afternoon, I'll
about.
tell you
You're
what.
right.
You don't have enough things to cover all the holes.
Press 2 to hold
To
your
become
gap and
airtight.
clench your butt. I'm so sorry. Hold on. Can you, as an addition, hold on, put
So does it make a sound?
Dill in overalls? Yeah, does it make a sound?
part of me wants
Dill's
to say
hand.
no, because of whatever is coming out of Dill isn't exactly water. It's liquid, but it's not water. But I don't actually know that would change the sound any. So yeah, no, he does make it like a spat
I mean,
spat
Jam
sound.
would make the
He
same
is-
kind of sound if
He
the
is
hand was covered in water.
he is barehanded and barefooted.
Ugh.
So am I.
Slap, slap, slap as he disappears.
Yeah, and now
down the
he's
city
looking
streets.
for you, D-Ham. He's looking for you in line. He is
A
coming to your
terrifying-
scene.
Terrifying sentiment.
That gives everyone nightmares. He's looking for you, D-Ham. Turns out this story is everyone versus Dill. Who knew?
I didn't mean to be the villain of the story, but I'll take that role if that's what it has
We
to
have
be.
to figure out how to make you a team member at this point.
I'm working on it.
I'm looking for him. You heard me. I'm hunting him. No.
I'm hunting.
You don't
him
know
for
why
this
yet.
game.
That's funny as fuck. Okay. I want to go back, I guess, then as Dill slaps his way, slap, down the street, wet, splashing as he, yeah, exactly. I'm excited to do that. Spat down the street as the crowd overtakes Chandri's moans of discontent. We go back to Spigot and Petal and the Fount. She is... I don't want to get too stuck up in these conversations. I think the Fount has set you up with her plan of action, which does track for you in the handbook of the Waterbearers, right? The Fount is here to deliver water to your community. This is your community. You are in charge of them. She is not in charge of them. This is out of her realm. That's not in the handbook. You just get the vibes. You grew up in the community. You would know. She has brought water in this truck, and in this truck is fresh distilled water that cannot be irradiated due to the make their your proprietary makeup of this truck. She has, with what is, as she has examined your work, Petal, and I'll say that as she's examined your work, she has wildly come around to you. I think by the end of this conversation, Spigot, why don't you also give me a do something under fire roll? A roll plus cool.
Okay.
This is mostly
Roll
to
plus
see
cool.
how you're standing with Fontaine after she sees what Petal can do for you. You know what I mean?
Yep. That would be a
Maybe
9.
a roll plus history.
That would be a 9. So it's 7
Oh,
plus
yeah.
2 cool gives me a 9.
I like what Gabe has injected here. But basically what it boils down to in this situation, no matter what, you have a 7 to 9. Do you think, one, that you know Fontaine from before this? Her demeanor so far, I think, could just be the fact that she's got to be this hardcore like person. I don't think that should cancel out her knowing you. But do you
I feel like I probably know her by reputation, but not necessarily personally.
Okay. That was my question basically leans to, do you think that your history with her, no matter how, it could be through lore or whatever, is worth +3 or less? Because if it's worth +3, you get a 10.
I would say that my history with the Founts, I know enough about who the Founts are and what their role is and what they do, that I would probably understand the premise of how she's going to behave, even if I don't know her personally.
I think with those things correlated, I would probably put it at a +1 or 2. And since in this case it doesn't, I think if you knew her personally from before, it might push it to that +3 where she's like already has a feeling of you, right?
Yeah.
But if you know of her through lore, she probably doesn't know of you, right?
Right.
She might know only of you through paperwork at this point. And I think with that, by the end of her, like, she scopes out the machine. She has Pedal step away, and she really deeply scopes out the machine. And by the end of that, she directs her machine questions towards Pedal, but directs her, like, water control issues towards you.
Okay.
And does so with disappointment. You know what I mean? Like, disappointment towards you, weird surprise appreciation towards Pedal. Like, Pedal is a character that should not have the ability to deal with this machine, and can and has kept it running. And you, in her doing so, in, according to a fucking manager, quote unquote, have not. Right? Like, if we just boil it down to the bullet points.
And I am both not surprised by this behavior from her and disappointed that I have fallen short in her esteem. So,
but overall, she tasks you with finding and returning the engine. And she doesn't put it into the bullet points because Pedal is around. You get the idea that she would have if Pedal wasn't. But this is a, like, do or die scenario for her to be giving you. You are to leave your community and find the engine, or this isn't your community anymore, and it will be her community, is the vibe.
Yeah, I'm not happy with it, but I also know how the order works, so. Damn it.
How much of this is Pedal aware of?
That was my next question. Pedal, what's your vibe on this? I think a lot of this has been in between the lines through clenched teeth and, like, talking about a rule that doesn't quite make sense, right? Like, how does this sit for you?
I mean, I wasn't born yesterday. I can see vibes, and I can see that there's a very different way that she's speaking to me than she's speaking to Spigot. And Spigot's been really nice to me, so I don't really appreciate it. It doesn't seem fair that it's somehow his fault that a shipment didn't arrive when it was supposed to. That doesn't make any sense how people get demoted for that. So I keep trying to, like, bring her attention more, maybe. In just a way to maybe give him a second to recoup and figure out a plan. Because I know I have no power in this situation.
No, I mean, I think
that's very clear.
You have a modicum, and that I will give you if you're trying to, pull her attention from Spigot's quote unquote failures, right? Like, you then turn, you're like, well, what I learned about the machine, right, is if I do X, if I do Y, like every time she really starts to drill into Spigot, especially with your 10 versus his 9, right? We can still tally on top of that. Like, you're able to pull her attention from like fully fucking railing Spigot in a way that Spigot apparently gets and understands, but that you don't appreciate. And I think by the end of this conversation, you feel a sense of respect, right, from her. She denotes you as Spigot's assistant, but only by terms, right? Like, she could not recognize to her order that you are taking care of this machine. You are assisting Spigot in caring for this machine, and she'll figure that out, how and why. But for now, it's helped the whole situation. Like, that's their whole purpose, is providing water. She may be militant, but you're doing the job. So she was willing to accept you as like this like interim water bearer. But you're Spigot's assistant. And so here's what I'll say. By the end of this, she has tasked the both of you with returning this engine. It's more of a we'll see what you can do challenge for Petal and a do or die for Spigot. But Petal, I'll say that you do get that idea that she's like, there's a weird sense of like invitation and challenge from her. Like, if you can show me that you can do this, I can offer you a bunch, you know?
Quick cue.
Mhm.
So she's telling us to go on this journey to return the engine.
Indeed.
But I am the only person that's keeping it going. The
Well,
water thing.
she's brought this big tank of water.
And
she
that'll
has
be...
given, yeah, I guess in terms to help you, she has given you guys, she has, with what you've shown her and what's left of the engine and what water she's brought, she can provide a gallon of water per person for a month for this town.
Now, do we have any confidence that she can maintain the machine, or is she going to let the machine run till it stops and then just feed them, or feed them, as it were, out of the tanker?
Valid. I think what your understanding is that she, like, the machine is dying.
Yeah.
Her and her, as she's introduced him, H2O. Of course, his name is H2O. I was also debating between H2O and H2O2 because H2O2 sounds more like a robot
R2D2?
name, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
But H2O hits harder.
Oh yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
H2O2 is super deadly.
What about Huto?
What
about what?
Huto.
Huh.
I'm
Huto?
on a hard line.
I
for
love it,
Huto.
Lawrence. I love it.
Press 2 for what about
I love
Huto.
that there was just dead silence after he said what about
I'm
Huto.
on a hard.
Press 3 for
What
Huto.
What about
Fuck! I'm on a hard thought about Huto. We'll decide on Huto next. Well, we won't have to because our focus is on this
let's talk about Huto here for a second, though.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, is it Huto or is it H2O? My thought is H2O because he's
So
a robot, right?
The sleek robot belongs to the Waterbearers?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He is a water bearer.
Okay, the robot's a water bearer. That's okay.
I was going to say there's a difference.
If we want to take like Lawrence's character as a person alongside every other people, we have to consider robots as people alongside people.
That's fair. That's
and
fair.
therefore H2O is a water bearer,
Yeah.
like Fount is. He's Fount H2O.
I don't. Press 3
there's a
for I'm the
difference.
only robot.
I mean, there's a difference between the robot's name being called
I love that too.
H2O and the people calling it Huto. Because people call things whatever they want, no matter what.
That's actually a really good point. I actually
like
like
the
that
robot
idea.
could be called H2O, but I'm gonna call it.
And in fact, it would be
want.
really funny if D-Ham is the one who led the charge of calling him Huto, because D-Ham understands that all people are named people names, and H2O is not a people name, and so therefore Huto only makes sense.
Press
you
4
won't,
for
yeah.
I can understand the concept of a nickname.
if you
4.
won't give yourself a name, I'm gonna give you a bad one.
Huto or H2O, you can choose. I like both, and I like that we spent the moment on that also from both sides. But her and H2O will be running the system as it dies down, and that tied with how much water they have brought will be enough for this month. After that month, this would be more of a knowledge. I bet in the time since you guys have gotten close, what's your guys' history? What's your history with each other? Petal and Spigot.
Our history is
different for each of you wildly.
is a +2. Yeah. So I've got a +2 with Petal.
You have a +2.
Who do
Petal,
I
what is
have?
yours with Spigot?
Let me pull up mine. Also +2.
+2. Okay.
We have equal ones. I just have a
Okay,
minus
that's
on
good.
Dill.
Yeah. But you both have +2 with each other. So then what I will then I'll grant you that Petal or Spigot probably would have broken you down on like this scenario. He knows that this is a do or die for him. Not in terms of like he has to die, but in terms of like he returns the engine or he doesn't come back. That doesn't mean he can't live. That just means he doesn't come back, right? Like he has to find a new community and do something new as not a water bearer. And if he wants to be a water bearer, he has to return with the engine. So
come back, Huto will shoot you.
Huta.
Engine not detected.
Engine
Bang.
not detected.
And I think in Petal's opinion, she herself is not religious, and I think we mentioned it a little bit. I can't remember if it was in the voice call that you and I had just prep work, or if it was all of us 2 weeks ago. But she's not real believing in the power of a water bear. She doesn't really want to be a water bear, but she likes Spigot, and he did her a solid by bringing her in, and she doesn't want him to see him fired. So she's, when they've had the discussion of if shit goes down, she was like, well, I've got nothing to lose. I can't remember my family. I can't remember who I am. So yeah, I'll go with you if shit hits the fan. Yeah, why not? Are you okay, Em?
Yeah, I was listening and still just trying to maintain the fact that I recalled something, and I had to keep my jaw dropped because if I didn't, I would have just gone back to listening and not remembered. I love that. I love what you have said. I don't want to break up from that. I want to maintain that. We're going to hit something at the end and then not forget ever again.
Yeah, so yeah, she's down to go get the engine. She doesn't really have as much skin in the game personally because, she can offer herself as a water bearer, but Petal doesn't really want to be a water bearer.
Right.
The whole process seems kind of uptight and not fun.
But at this point, you know that, even if
it's important to Spigot.
Right, exactly. He took care of you, and now this is how you can repay him.
Yeah.
And I think that's absolutely fair. But with all of that, I guess at this point, then you would have been aware and readied yourself that now the two of you have been tasked with the mission. Return the engine or do not return, which is not, do not return is not seemingly an issue for Petal, minus the fact that Spigot can't also return. But what do, as we can even say that she, pushes you out of the room. I must get to work. I'm gonna check over the engine, and locks you. Return the engine. We'll see you when we see you within the month.
Yeah.
I would be willing to bet she says, right? She fully expects you to return within the month. So we'll see you within the month, and then the door shuts. What is the next thing from the two of you?
Well, I would tell Petal I'm going to go pack whatever gear I have for traveling, and we need to make a plan and hit the road.
Well, all right.
So,
I don't got much, but I'll get what I've got.
Get what I've got.
Do I need to go get anything? Water to go? Sneak some extra? I won't tell.
Oh yeah,
Just kidding. Just kidding. I mean, I don't know if that's correct.
Just
I don't
kidding.
know.
Just kidding. Just kidding. I won't
water
steal water.
bearers
Yeah, I don't know.
do water bearers do
maybe
keep
not.
water in
Skim off the
reserve
top, I don't
for
know.
such emergencies.
Hell
Just
yeah,
pitch and
let's
shit.
skim
You
off
can
the
pick.
top.
You guys gather your things. Outside, D-Ham, the let's see, the robot H2O beeps a few times, beep beep boop, and says, "Water rations will resume shortly. Please, what is it? Please form an orderly line to receive your water rations." And it just keeps repeating its same message, which I'll probably cut from earlier. But the crowd gets a little restless, and then actually, I'll introduce this at least at a minimum now to the three of you. The door opens, and Spigot and Petal come out first. Yep, that's what would happen.
I would like to make an open your brain roll.
Ooh.
Okay, that's the hardest
You stay out of
and
there.
most weird. You stay out of there, Petal says, shouts into the crowd.
Press 3 to keep me out of this.
Awesome. I mean, do it, but
Where can y'all see
I know-
the roles and the moves you can do?
So in the Legend Keeper, you have the
Mhm.
character sheets. Below that is a moves group. If you click the down arrow on moves, it'll open. If you click the down arrow on basic moves, that'll be your main roles. Anything in basic moves is your main, like, your main engagement roles. Everything else is like bonus, very specific. You're using a car, you're being chased kind of roles. But basic moves is like
Got it.
engage with the world. Lawrence is doing a open your brain that is roll plus weird, 2d6 plus weird.
I engage all of the advanced processors in my brain that are all working at about 1% capacity, and I open my brain. With it a +2, I have
Correct.
a total of 12.
Damn.
Wow.
On a hit, the MT will tell you something new and interesting about the current situation and might ask you a question or two. Answer them.
Press 5 for vibe check.
Vibe check indeed. As the door opens, D-Ham, you see the Waterbearer and his assistant, the newest implant into the town, with their bags and gear prepared, looking like they're going on an expedition. This is the only person I'll say that you know presents you with water. This is your water giver. You can see with that 12, they are not like you know immediately, first person in line, right? They are not opening the door to serve you water. You don't even get that like fake vibe, right? They're not like taking the first person. The door opens, they step out, the door closes. I want to ask a question about your like mental state in the terms of like you're waiting in line for a few hours. The Waterbearer appears, but you know for a fact he's not here to give you water, right? Like, what's your vibe immediately upon them coming out to leave, not to serve you?
D-Ham starts stomping impetuously at the front of the line. And he says, 2, 2, 2!
The crowd behind you stamps their feet and chants, 2, 2, 2! And
Also, Dill is coming.
Yes, Dill is
he's
coming.
what?
That's here. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. I'm prepared for the nasty man to come across our vision.
Prepare the nasty man to what?
H2O spins around quickly, like not firing, very clearly, not firing. Spins around quickly, just examining the crowd, just making sure there's no actual like violence occurring. Able to scan though. I think that's a good enough question. I like that you've riled the crowd. The crowd is like all of a sudden a little sparky. The Waterbearer and his assistant are going down the steps. Nope. I'm going to ask the Waterbearer and his assistant. I'm only calling... to be clear, you're not his assistant. But to DHam's point of view, you may as well be. Spigot and Pedal, as you have exited and been shouted out by DHam, shouted at by DHam, serve me 222, and this whole crowd is chanting back. What hits you? What's your...
Well, Spigot's not going to leave without talking to the crowd. This is his town. These are his people. He wants to let them know what's going on so they understand what's happening. So he would not speak ill of Fontaine or H2O, but he would he would let them know there's urgent business that he's been mandated to go take care of, and in the interim, the Fount and H2O, the two Fount members, are here to serve them water and maintain the peace in my absence. But he's going to try and de-escalate, and he might even, walk up and speak directly to DHam and say, it's going to be okay. And he might even say, if you were to come with us, this might go faster.
Is there water where you're going?
There will be water when we return with what we need to procure.
Press 1 for yes. Press 2 for no.
Does he actually have a dial pad somewhere?
2.
I don't want to say no.
Don't say somewhere. Don't say somewhere.
Awesome. Somewhere. Fuck. Spigot reaches down low and shakes his head and presses
2.
No.
Please, no.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. Okay. I think that...
Hold on, did he press 1 or 2?
1.
1?
Where is it?
Wait. Yes, 1 is yes. That's hard to remember at some point.
Yeah.
My
Where
brain
is
just
the
imagines
keypad?
like the uncanny valley
Where is the
of
keypad?
Dill's long arm reaching over a rooftop, but I don't want to like specify that. Like
There's no buttons. You just talk to me.
Town,
You don't just walk up to someone and press them on their body. No. You just talk to me.
Right,
a verbal one is
activated.
plenty.
I need to get a few vibes on Dill before I start saying what Dill does. Dill, how you hear this unruly crowd ahead of you? How do you approach this situation?
Dill can also narrate his own actions.
No, exactly. I just, that's exactly what I'm asking. Like, how do you approach this? I just need to know. I need to get a vibe so I can say in the future easier.
Okay. There's a commotion going on, so Dill approaches with a degree of caution. Not like a lot, but he's keeping his peepers peeled and he's looking about. And he's just sort of loping along the street. And he comes down the hill or whatever, and he comes into the view of the scene, and he takes it in. And he takes note of everything that's going on, and he initially starts loping towards where the party is at. But Dill is nervous, and Dill is sweaty, and Dill is thirsty. And during his scan of the field, he takes in the sleek robot, and Dill's whole demeanor changes. And And I don't quite know how, like, I want to do a roll for it, but basically what happens is Dill shifts from, like, the junkyard guy to, some kind of a robot predator.
Mm.
Me and D-Ham are cool. He gave me a big gallon of toxins, but all the other robots are just little bags of toxins. Right for the squeezins. And so I want to in some way, like, telegraph that to the robot.
To H2O or to...
Yeah.
You want to telegraph to H2O what?
So you reach out your arm and you point at him, and then you make like the ringing of a towel motion.
Yeah, basically that I intend him dreadful squishy harm.
I think just a dramatic point does the trick. I mean, you're tall, aren't you? A nice menacing point. Ugh. I don't know how you non-verbally tell someone if you don't do something about to squeeze you of all your machine juices.
Okay, well, in that case, I'm gonna just seize by force.
Is this something I can see and intervene on?
Yes.
Okay, so
Okay.
first I want a do something under fire from Spigot on his control of the crowd.
Okay.
Which is roll plus cool, just to take it back a little bit to all our rolls.
That would be a 10 plus 2 is 12.
Okay, you tackle this crowd chanting 222 at you. Dill. You come down the shanty-built streets, see the crowd ahead of you, and stop for a second to hear all of this situation. Approach a bit, see the robot scanning the crowd. You said you wanted to seize by force? Seize by force is a physical... It seems to me to be a physical action. Are you attempting to rush this robot and seize it by force to wring it out right now?
I may or may not be intending to yoink him right out of his little cockpit and carry him off. Maybe. I can say that Dill has not thought that far ahead. He's thirsty and he wants this robot.
Okay, but if you're doing a seize by force roll, that is when you try to seize something by force. So I just want to make sure that is your action before I narrate.
I would say, if others want to roll to intervene, that should go before Dill's seize by force.
But in order for them to intervene, your action has to be doing this thing. So you need to do.
No,
this
fair
thing,
enough. Then let's do it. Roll plus.
Okay. Yeah, roll plus. I guess hard to
roll plus hard.
Seize the robot with a gun.
Yep.
Dill is a primitive creature. He doesn't think. He sees.
Guess.
Dill's also immune to harm.
No, he's immune to dying. He is not immune to harm, to be very clear about Dill's mechanic. You can take a lot of harm.
That's a 9.
Seize by force. 7 and 9. Choose 2. On a hit, choose options. You choose 2, not me. You take definite hold of it. You suffer little harm. You inflict terrible harm. You impress, dismay, or frighten your enemy.
Okay. I
Dill
think
comes upon this scene
Dill
and sees
Dill cannot.
the bot with a gun.
Dill does not take harm the way that others do, so that is not his intent, and I don't want to spill any juices in the grabbing, so we're gonna go with taking definite hold and impress, dismay, and frighten. And so we're gonna like pluck him out of the wherever he's at, and if he puts some rounds into me, that's just sort of the cost of doing business. And we're gonna tuck him into our chest, and we're gonna kind of fold over him, and then we're gonna look over at the party, and we're gonna be like, "D-ham," and we're gonna come back down and see what's up.
Okay. Dill comes down the shanty street, seeing the robot, and I guess seemingly loses control of himself enough to dive over the discontented crowd, climbing up the edge of the water-bearing truck. As he approaches, the robot shouts out a command to halt, but in not doing so, Dill approaches, and the gun just sort of opens fire on Dill as he approaches, as he like breaks the gap between the crowd and the truck itself, and Dill is gonna take, I guess, 2 levels of harm for being shot with this gun to the 6 o'clock mark. Got on it. His harm, which I will figure out what that clock means here in a second. Figure that out real quick, actually. See what that relates to.
Well, for Dill, it doesn't matter until you get past 11.
Okay. Sweet. What the fuck? Why would that tell me that info and then take me to a different page?
Yeah.
It's silly.
I've had enough time to think of my response, and I'm ready when the narrative arises.
Indeed. Yeah, I mean, I'll take you to 6. You get shot a little bit on your way in. A few holes put in you, but you pluck H2O out of his turret and spider down the water-bearing truck a bit and stop at H2O. I apologize. What do you say? The crowd is in crazy turmoil.
I would. Let's see. I say, D-ham, I need your help.
That's not what I thought you were going to say. One moment.
Sorry.
D-ham says, Dill, come down here and we can talk. Press 4 for conversation.
Dill lopes on down. Yeah.
The robot now sort of fighting in his arm the whole time.
Now, Dill, we've discussed this before. You know the rhyme. Let's say the rhyme together. If it moves and it grooves, it cannot be squoozed.
Why would this be the rhyme? One more time.
Okay, say it with me. If it moves and it
If it-
grooves,
Grooves
it
and
cannot be squoozed.
grooves not be squoozed. Okay. I'm gonna roll.
Now, I may not like Hutu either, but Hutu can move and groove.
I'm gonna roll plus history. That's a 12. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Sure.
You've absolutely heard this before. I say it to you all the time.
100%. We've done this rhyme. We did this rhyme when I picked you up, and you talked me down and offered me gallons of poison instead.
I have so much poison at the house.
Yeah, for all the dishwashing and stuff. If it moves and it grooves, it can't be squoozed. And I like, out the robot.
H2O is hood out into a bundle in the side. He stands up and he bleeps and he bloops and clambers back atop and aims the gun directly at Dill and stays aimed that way.
That's fair.
I would say he fires a few shots off into the like direct air, like above him with the gun. It has a crazy motion for sure, to like get the crowd into order, and then aims at Dill. Yeah, I would say though that now the action, Dill has something he wants to talk to Ham about. Dill has something he wants to talk to Ham about, so let's hit that. Let's hit that because this is where
I
the
need your
conversation
help.
is.
I need your help. You've helped before, and I need help again.
Yes.
Can
You've
you
reached to Lucas Chop House answering machine. How can I help you?
I need you to hide my car.
Press 4 to hide your car in a bush.
4. Wait, no.
Press 5 to
It's too late.
hide your car in a bigger bush. Press 6 for custom option.
Okay. Dill is perplexed, and so Dill is going to use his final move. We're gonna use the other one.
Okay. Oh boy, what a time to use the other one.
And if you want me to be Dill as the other one also, I can do that.
No, that is not the point of the other one.
Then let's go for it.
Opposed to the point of the other one entirely. Well, yeah, what would be the point of the move if you then just did it? No way.
Press 7 for
You know,
Lemon Pfeiffer.
we're hitting 30 minutes, just so we know.
I am dealing with a random villain who has made himself a wild source in this story. I'm trying to like wrangle.
Can also definitely not do it.
No. I'm literally I'm just like chuckling at the uncanny valley of this character.
Press 9 for we have several large men. Dismantle your car piece by piece and eat each piece until their tummies are oh so full.
Oh, so full. Dill stops and straightens up, squaring his shoulders out and straightening sort of his chin forward. It takes out a large portion of the fact that his mouth is like wicked way too wide than it should be. His jaw all of a sudden looks a little bit more set into his form. And he doesn't look so Muppet-like. He looks like he's really filling out his form all of a sudden. He looks around the crowd. I think it's funny if Dill's other one voice is absolutely wildly different. He looks on the crowd. He looks at DHam. He says, "I'm so sorry. Please, if you have time, come by the junkyard later tonight, and we'll get you set up with my car. If you could work on it a bit, make it capable of traveling the distance, I would greatly appreciate it." And Dill kind of like sets his head between his shoulders, like he's trying to like not make himself the center of attention, and makes his way through the crowd, kind of the crowd itself kind of confused. But opposite of the way that he sort of came in, sort of crawling over folks, walking just like now
Crawling
at
under
his
folks.
full height of, what is his full height when he's in uncanny but walking like he should be? Like when he squares his shoulders, is he like 8 feet tall but looks like a dude? Like, I want to say when he's the other one, he doesn't look uncanny. You know what I mean? Like he's able to like set himself back to look like a person.
Then probably he's like a thick 6'8".
Okay, definitely tall.
Thick.
Because he's remember that the other thing that he's got like control. That's just my headphone. The other thing he's got control over is like his whole musculature, so he can be whatever sort of dimensions he needs to be. And I imagine Dill is long and thin, unless he needs to be. So he's Uncanny Valley 8-9 feet tall, all sort of folded up. But this Dill could definitely be like, 6'7" and built like a truck.
Yeah, a bit thicker. Quite a bit thicker. Dill moves down the street.
I'll bring my car.
Perfect. Yeah, you'll bring your car. Almost confidently versus like the Dill move that he does. He's not trying to draw attention. Not that Dill's movement is trying to draw attention, but that very clearly this Dill is...
This one's aware of his surroundings.
Yeah, this one is actively not trying to do that. Not trying to utilize his weird body.
DHam turns to the pair of water keepers and says, "I've never seen that before, ever. Can you please come with me? I'm afraid."
Yes.
And then
Press 1 for yes.
One. Press 3 for car? Question mark.
Yeah, car would be good. Yes.
3. Then I want to ask, I guess, like, the Waterbearer's first approach. Like, what's your first... You've got a job, recover the engine. DHam is moderately on board as long as there's water involved, and we have to go check out the junkyard for Dill's car for DHam first.
Maybe
Yeah.
we could take the car.
I would say we head to the junkyard and see what we see.
H2O.
DHam says, "I do have to work a shift first, and I need the water."
First.
What? I didn't call in today. I'm a good employee.
Fair. Well, we can't get you the water beforehand. Not we. Anyway.
Who to? I need the water. I need the water. Who to?
Oh. Well, of course. Yeah. Yes. On to that. Fountain and H2O get the water line moving, and people and H2O get there with the fount and their extra source, the amount is brought up to a gallon, which is the survivable nature, and that's what she's promised for the month. After that, it's out, and it will be someone else's purview to take care of. So D-Ham has given his gallon for the day. I would be willing to say that as the bordel like operator, you're getting the bordel's water as well, so you're given a lot more than just a gallon for the day. So deliver to the bordel.
D-Ham unlatches his jaw and takes a big swig out of one of the jugs, and then just sort of like shakes his torso and jumps up and down.
The crowd honestly probably gets a little unruly at that, like you're just chugging, but you return the water to your crew. You're gonna work a shift.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
I have to. We are going to go to the junkyard after I'm off at night.
D-Ham has to work a shift. Is there anything that you want to do during the D-Ham shift, Pedal and Spigot, for this thing, or do you just want to wait?
No, I would say that we head to the junkyard, and we'll tell D-Ham we'll meet him at the junkyard when his shift is over.
That's fair enough.
We've confirmed your reservation.
There you go. Your reservation is confirmed. I want to connect these two times up as being about the time that Dill is in the midst of breaking down this Waterbearer's vehicle. That we kind of set up in the previous episode. Like he's gone through he's in the midst of it. He's gone through the bits that we talked about last episode, i.e. he found the flyer, it's in a pile. He's like breaking down the pieces of the wall and whatever, but just to connect those timelines, as you come back, he is in the midst of breaking down this this vehicle. Well, that's on his docket. Dill, as you return to the junkyard,
the big question becomes, how long do I stay the other one?
That is my question as well. I feel like it's a
If it's a short burst, then who's to say? But if it's longer, then it's possible that Dill is deconstructing the Waterbearer van with some sort of intelligent purpose rather than just pulling it to bits.
I like that a lot, actually. I think, as you come back into yourself, you're in the midst of deconstructing the Waterbearer van.
What a wild class where you can basically just say, I want to stop. You do it.
I want to be done. Through Dill's point of view, he saw some of this occur, but didn't really get to like put his hands in on it. And I'm gonna say that actually goes for the stuff that we had that you said that your character did, right? Like I think blend those in that, like, you in this fugue state, in this other one state, create those piles, create those like breaking down the van. You come back in the midst of breaking down the like physical pieces of the van itself. Are you just a passenger?
And you had gloves on
while this occurs, or are you like, is this like a dream to you, everything that occurs? I should ask. Like, do you see it
no,
in person?
No, Dill's not there. Dill is not around.
Not aware at all.
The other one, no.
Okay, yeah, then Dill comes back in the midst of pulling off a side panel of this van. There are piles around him, seemingly specific, but not to Dill's recognition of them. He's pulling apart the van. Last time he was here, he was in the midst of a crowd with a robot in his hand.
Well, I think then we have to
I will try to do that
read a
in the future.
sitch.
That makes sense.
It's time to read a sitch because anytime that Dill is coming out of a state, it's a sitch. Some bad things have happened as a result of him being in some states. So, that's sharp though, which is -1. Let's see. Big money out here. Oof. Oofda. That is a 2.
Well, it's an experience. You get to mark that. But
Nice.
it's a miss. I think it's blackness. You blinked virtually, and you had a robot in your hand, and we're in the middle of a crowd, and we're thirsty for this robot's innards. And now are in like halfway through pulling a panel off this van, as you have clicked back into yourself. I'll say, still hungry.
Dill's gonna have a quick scan of the assorted van bits to see if there's any that look squeezable. If there are, he intends to squeeze them right then and there. If there's not, then he's probably gonna go and start his car.
No, I mean, the engine is still in it. It's broken down, but you know the parts of engines that you can squeeze for stuff. You know that once done, it's a useless engine, but you don't really have much else within reach, so it just makes sense at this point.
Yeah, okay. Well then I think the party then can discover Dill like with his mouth around one end of an engine. Like just at this engine.
Dill, no, sorry. Spigot and Pedal come into the junkyard, and Dill pulls his head out from the the engine compartment. Like you have the hood
partially
open,
inside
and
of the engine.
he has the black exhaust around his mouth, like he's been sucking on a pipe in there. But you don't know, you know.
Well, now that's a sight.
But you've come upon the junkyard, Spigot.
So do I recognize what's left of this vehicle? Do I recognize any of the markings, or is he so disassembled it that I can't recognize it from other scrap?
No, you know he's disassembling the delivery vehicle, quote unquote.
I imagine the other one would have left the insignia intact somewhere.
Fair enough.
Yeah, hasn't gotten to that piece yet.
Yeah.
Disassembling the inside.
Yeah, Spigot would want to ask Dill what he's found. Hey, have you found anything interesting or of note as you've been disassembling this vehicle?
No.
No? All right.
Don't know. Do not.
Oh, don't know.
Do not
Okay.
know.
Don't know. Do not know. Do not know.
I thought he just said, no. Okay.
But
I think I could take a read a sitch also on Spigot, because there's stuff like visually around you that he's put into piles, right? Like, even if he tells you he doesn't know, if you scope it, you might see it.
Dill could also just give like a general sharp roll, just to try and answer the question.
You've heard of yes and. This is
a total
no.
of 9.
Have I found anything interesting?
If I recall your sharp roll, you did find you have found something interesting. You just put it into a pile because you didn't care about it.
Did I? Oh, that was paper. Okay. Yes. Dill doesn't care about paper.
Can't squeeze paper.
You found something interesting narratively, but not interesting to Dill. So
okay.
Yeah.
Well,
yes, you have already done sort of that
no,
roll.
Then is the revised answer to no.
No is the no. What did you get? Sorry, Spigot.
I got a 9.
Okay. From read a sitch, the basic move, you can ask 1. I feel like there's actually one answer here. There's one question here. Though you can ask any of them, but you're after one very clearly.
Yeah.
Which to me,
yeah. Can
please,
you tell me what happened to the van?
Oh, what happened here? The van. The van mostly
or cargo
taken apart
truck or
at
whatever
this
it
point,
was.
right? But in the neat piles laid off to the side, you can see bullet holes. You can see like crash marks, dent marks, not things that have been put in through the removal of these pieces, but like huge, like this car was crashed into. This car was shot at, right? Like this is seemingly like more than just one aggressor, right? Like this was set on by a group. And I think with that, as I was thinking, it finally triggered in my brain last night. The nothing you see in these piles is the like Mirage equipment, the stuff that makes the van, that fake Mirage.
Yeah, okay.
Fount had when she was coming in. Fontaine. That equipment is missing as well.
Well, that's not ideal.
It was set upon by a crew and stripped of its most high-tech parts, including the engine.
Yeah.
But you have all these piles of stuff that Dill has made. There are piles of like, we'll say one pile is like main component that we could use for like sheeting, more like building work, right? There's a pile of the basic engine, normal car running tech, all the pieces he's just straight, I would imagine Dill style, please correct me if I'm wrong, just rips out of this engine when he's Dill. When he's the other one, maybe removes it correctly. I don't know if I'm interjecting too much as I'm saying. I would imagine that some of these piles that Dill has removed are a little bit more jagged, and some of them are like really clean removals, but the pile itself is of both, right? So you have these structural components, you have engine like tech components, and then you have burn pile.
I think that makes sense. I don't think that the other one has access to power tools any more than Dill does, but is probably better at using Dill's bad Dill body than Dill is. So whereas Dill will just rip stuff apart, the other one could like squeeze into like screw rivets and turn them.
Yeah. I like that
so like
a lot.
there's the unsalvageable garbage, and there is the battered but usable pile, which in the Apocalypse is pretty solid.
It's the pile that D-Ham gets into.
I think I'm again stuck up on the like looking for a clue portion, and I don't need to be. This is a thing I'm working on my own flow for. With that burn pile on top, Dill threw it on top, right? As he's breaking it apart. Like in the first
Dill
few
doesn't give a shit.
papers, right? You find that flyer for the Greenbrook Mall. It's super out of place. That's the only reason I keep bringing it's so out of place. Everything else in the Waterbearer van is Waterbearer van stuff, right? This paper, the flyer for the Greenbrook Mall, is super out of place.
Yeah, Waterbears hate malls.
Yeah. Just a bunch of Goro teens on skateboards and
they chlorinate their water, and that just won't do.
It's not wet at all there.
They do.
That was in the van.
I would examine that paper, see if it gives us any I mean, it's a flyer for the mall, and maybe that's enough of the clue in itself, but I don't know if there's anything else on the clue that is of significance.
Get the paper wet. See what happens.
We can read a sitch. Can we?
I mean, I think we can.
Can we read an item?
We can on this. We can read a sitch. I think these.
Is there examine closely?
Questions sort of
Look,
lean into
squint.
reading the
Look,
paper.
but again.
Yeah, read a person.
I got a
definitely
prosthetic
direct to the
eyeball.
person.
Can my prosthetic eyeball give me an in? I'm looking.
Well, Dham, you have a move for this, actually.
Yeah,
what I
but
will
not
do now.
here.
Yeah,
Fair
but
enough.
he's working. Yeah.
I totally.
Oh, I thought
have
you
a
were.
job.
I thought the other ones were. I thought the other two were accompanying you to meet me at this. That all of this
Nah,
was taking
I had to
place
go work
after
a
your
shift.
shift.
DDaD decided to work a fucking
Okay.
shift.
No, that's fair. He's got a job. I just figured that they would all come together after the shift. But I guess great minds think separately.
What are we gonna do with that?
I mean,
we don't care that D-Ham has a shift. We got me and
No,
me
you've
and
got
Sarah
stuff
shit
to do. No, yeah, all right. Figure it out then.
This is an extra dude who's asked to join us. We have stuff to do around him. Fuck, I thought of... Oh, actually, okay, so Pedal. This is a moment for a beginning of the session roll that I should have done instantly. I even prepped you for it with a side message and then forgot to do it. Pedal, we're going to ask for your vision roll. Yeah.
I was wondering why we didn't start the thing with. I was like,
with a
prepping myself, okay, Grace, you're gonna have to do some improv, or you're gonna be ready, you're gonna be brave. And then it didn't
that
start
was
with
my
me, and
jaw
everything's
drop
great.
earlier, by the way, when I was like, I didn't give Pedal a vision. Oh, yeah, that was my jaw drop. But now I'm gonna narratively put it in.
Family.
Pedal. As Spigot picks up this piece of paper from the pile, all these Goro teens skating across the surface of it make your vision blur, and you see a bunch of Goro teens skating out in 3D towards your eyes. I'd like you to give me a, what is this roll? Roll plus cool visions at the beginning of a session. We'll call this the beginning of the session.
Excuse me.
Cut everything else. We're back to the start.
4 plus 5
Oh my god.
is 9. And I don't have any plus to cool. So I just have 9.
The MC holds 2. I'm super happy you got this. The MC can spin 2 hold at any moment to interrupt you and tell you that a vision comes on right now. That's perfect. Now I can utilize this. At 1, you get to provide a bunch of input.
Put that whole thing at the very beginning of the session.
Nah, it fits in now perfectly. But at 2, I get to tell you. And I'll require some feedback from you in this vision, but the vision blurs as the Goro teens skate out to you, and your vision sort of does that transition-y fade as the Goro teen passes by, and you find yourself in a sand-blasted parking lot. A long expanse of, this dried plant matter and rock blowing in front of you, as well as standing on this hard concrete ground that stretches out in all directions. You can see bits of concrete jutting out from the sand that we may know to be the little parking columns where your car lines up, right? You find yourself in this wide expanse of concrete. The vision slightly shifting in front of you. Goro teens skating around doing ollies and fucking grinding the little concrete pieces that remain. And as your vision passes up beyond them, you see deep in the distance, so far away, just on the horizon, a skyline of a city. You know this city. This is the main city. This is Delta Down. This is a metropolis. You don't live in the metropolis. You know that as you stand in this great expanse of concrete around you. Jutting from the ground in between you and this deep horizon point of the city of Delta Down is a complex. 3 stories, massive, just like stretching out on either side of you in a pretty large realm, with a broken down sign on its roof, letters having fallen down, reading, you can read between the lines, reading Greenbrook Mall, up in front of you. And there are a group of people in front of you in blue and silver trimmed robes doing a bunch of work on the outside of the mall, setting up different pieces of technology. And as they put this last piece into place in front of you and click a button, a big black wall just rises in front of you. There are shapes kind of shifting on it, but your vision is having a trouble processing just sort of colors and black, these like neon oranges and greens streaming up the blackness in front of you. And everyone just sort of nodding to each other. They've done something successfully. But you are brought back into this junkyard after this vision. I don't know about checking things on that long, long list. I'm going to just call pretty much everything I say and added to the list. But that's your vision as you're brought back into this junkyard, sort of staring as the Goro teens skate back into the paper and land their ollies in the stuck motion on the flyer.
That's a very fun visual.
Huh. So each time I have a vision mark experience. Where do I put my experience? Where do I write that down?
Near the top of your sheet, there's a green box that says experience, and there's a few boxes underneath of it. You only ever need, I think, 5 experience to level up. Every time you have 5, you get to level up.
And it's anytime
Okay,
you
I'm
use
marking
a
it.
checked skill, or if your things say so.
Or if your things say so, or if you fail.
Okay.
Anytime you fail,
Or
you
if
get to
I
mark
use
an
a
experience as
check
well.
skill.
Yeah, so you mark an experience for using a vision, but you are thrust back into the junkyard with this vision of the Greenbrook Mall. You have been there. That's the point of these visions, right? Like, they are visions of your past. You're not like seeing where you will be. You have been at this Greenbrook Mall that the flyer reads.
I mean, I don't think I'm gonna say anything about it, but I am gonna file that knowledge for later that, okay, there's another connection to, so these files were found with the crashed vehicle.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
They were put in the
I
burn
mean,
pile from the crashed vehicle.
It, I don't want to look at it. I don't know.
The vehicle or
Is
the
Dill
flyer?
holding the files?
Pedal. Nope. Spigot's holding the flyer.
Yeah.
He's like picked it up out of the burn pile.
I look over his shoulder because I feel like we're at a point that I can look.
Yeah.
We're buddies.
I mean, it's like an ad flyer, like, hey, come to the mall kind of flyer, right? Like, it's just teens skating.
I want to look at the date. I want to look at the date of the flyer.
Man, I love that question, and I don't love a no, but I don't know of like a poster that has a date on it. I really do.
I don't know if it's like an ad for something. Like usually it's an ad
but
for
not with the year though.
Right, like it's not like Greenbrook Mall.
It's gonna be like, October 12th.
October 12th? Why
And
would
of
that
course-
be on an ad flyer, though?
Of course, as we all know, the planet doesn't rotate, so it is always October 12th.
Well, I
Right.
guess it would be numbers. It would be, October.
Oh, no, this flyer
know.
comes from a long, long time ago. Like,
HWA 12 to 14.
that was my concept about not putting a name on the mall, is that it comes from a time in which there were times, like there was a day. That's why I was struggling with the mall in the first place, but also there's a building, so fucking who cares? Like, it's an old, what I'll say, it's an old flyer. Like, it's worn, it's tattered in the edges. It looks like an old piece of detritus, but it's not a crumpled ball, right? Like, it's not been trashed. It seemed to have just floated off this ancient wall, Like, it's just an old flyer. That's, I think, the bit you get from that. And I mean, and that you've been there before, whatever that means for you.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't have anything to.
Right. But Spigot, you stand here with this flyer in your hand. This is the only piece of standout, I'll say, from this situation, as a
And I
knowing
didn't.
your clues.
I did not notice Petal's 1,000-yard stare as she looked deeply into the flyer.
With your honestly, with your history with Petal, I don't think we need to worry about a roll from this. I think you do. I think you do notice that, like, totally devoid stare while she was in this vision. Oh, that's a cat in your lap.
No, it's a dog.
Can I talk?
That's a dog.
I'm in the
Poor
podcast.
Daphne.
We have 6 members, and I'm
Poor
the 6th.
Snork.
Yeah,
Oh.
feel sad about it.
3
So
minutes
I
overtime.
would probably ask
I want
her.
to see what she looked like in the camera.
I would probably ask Petal, is she okay, or what did she see in the flyer, or did that bring back memories, knowing her history that she doesn't remember all of the past? So I would ask those kind of questions of, did this spark something for you? Did you, did you recall something?
Just I've been there. To that mall. I don't know where that is. But I've been there. I have a memory of being around there.
Fascinating.
Yeah, it's a real treat.
And do we have any idea where this place might be from here? No?
Yes, I don't see a reason to say nay. I mean, so, okay. As far as, like, you guys have been in this, like, wasteland lifestyle for a long time, right? There are only so many places that we can actually do raids in. Like, there are compounds and towns, like rundown towns, right, that we can do raids through, seeing what we can find that we didn't find last time. We can only do this so many times before we just say, like, there's no reason to go back to that town. We have searched it. I'll say that the Greenbrook Mall is in between you and the main city. You've heard of the Greenbrook Mall in terms of, like, your raiders. It's a dangerous place. There are always, I don't know what the right word would be, like, others there, right? People with that give your raiders danger. People that give your outlanders a struggle while they're out. So they don't typically go there because it's a waste. Why would we waste the ammo? Why would we waste the armor when we could go to all these other places and just raid? It's a danger raid place, basically. Worth the loot, maybe not worth the damage.
Yeah. Well,
But you
I'm
know
in,
where it is. It's on, far to
I'm
the
in
north.
more of
but
a do or die kind of place right now, so maybe risk is worth it.
Yeah. I'll say that right now, what I will say to leave us with some thoughts is we're gonna start to zoom out here on this waste area. On the junkyard. That's the word. We're going to start to zoom out on the junkyard as Spigot. It's going to take me a minute to get all these names down. Spigot, Petal, and fucking Dill. Spigot, Petal, and Dill stand around the shell of the Waterbearer vehicle, flyer in hand. Spigot, two paths really in front of you, right? You know, you have the flyer in hand. This is an out of I don't know, situation piece. It doesn't fit in. It's something. I think what would make sense to initially start in is with like where the crash occurred. So searching for where the actual attack happened, which you have to know has to be between here and the source. They were heading straight from the source to here. So if we head straight from the here to the source, we'll probably find the crash site. That is off the top of my head to your two paths. You may have a different path, but
oh no, it's his path is very direct and very focused. So
just to help myself out, I would ask where your biggest focus is of those two paths as we start to sort of zoom out of this junkyard, right? Like where does Petal, where does Spigot find himself thinking his next step is as we start to pull up?
His instinct is to go to the crash site. He's learned what he can from the remains of the van. But I think he needs to see the crash site to see if he can gather anything else that will help give him further direction.
Okay. And as we pull up, Spigot shares with Petal his info and with Dill because he's there. This is our next step. Dill looks like that, wide-eyed and into Spigot's face and not moving the whole time, he tells him. Not an inch. There's not a breath movement from Dill's shoulders as he stares. Spigot, for a moment, may think Dill is dead in this stasis, and then Dill blinks as
his nostrils are still moving.
That's it. That's Dill's breath. Just the flare of the nostrils as he breathes. That's it. No fucking chest movement at all. That's terrible. Dude, that's awesome. We see Dill's nostrils flare. His strolls flare out.
Man.
As he breathes in and we fade to black on Spigot and Petal and Dill. I guess we want to do a quick cut over to DDaD, just hard working. DDaD, as we fade out, we're at 50% now, still fading to black. Can you please briefly, you're dealing with an unruly crowd. I'd like a roll from you. Talk to me about how you deal with this crowd has gotten unruly since you've been waiting in line. I don't want to just totally skip out of you entirely. You went to work. Talk to me about your work day.
We're celebrating. Water rations have been doubled today.
Damn.
Not only is everyone hydrated, because of this, everyone is feeling better. Everyone's
lubricated.
happy to spend money. Everyone's happy to gamble right now. Everyone's feeling good. And so DDaD is just commanding this crowd. He's making custom drinks. The glasses are cleaner than they've been all month. There's there's almost no sand in it unless people ask for it. That's number
Some do.
17.
Some have gotten used to the grit at this point. They really want it. They try their
miss the
first
grit.
drink without the grit, and then they're like, I kind of want grit.
Can you add a little
It
grit?
doesn't feel clean without the grit.
We fade out in the back room on Chandri hitting his vape, just trying to calm down from the anxiety of the night. I like that idea. And we'll fade to black on Chandri hitting his vape in the
No
back
matter
room.
what bad day I'm having, Chandri's having a worse one.
Chandri's struggling.
Yeah,
Guys,
wait until D-Ham puts
A
in his 2
wide-angle
weeks, which
shot
means
of
I'm
the
gonna be gone for 2
alleyway.
weeks.
The thing looks on to, and we just see a mushroom cloud of vape rise from the alley.
I promise I'm going to get into this story. I keep getting distracted by so many questions about but what happens if, but what about X? What do we do if Y? And I just need
Just having a good time.
I just need a second to get my brain to say not that. I'll get us into the story.
Gotta make some firm choices, yes and no.
I struggle
Press
with a
one for
yes and no. But I'll get to it. I promise we'll get into the title. But we're gonna fade out on the second episode with no title name for you guys yet.
6 eps, no title. Hashtag 6 eps, no title.
Is this gonna be Dungeons, Drive-ins, and Dice Untitled? Like, it can't be. I'm mad. I
Untitled
have a title,
EP.
and the artist is putting it into the PNG. And if I say it's untitled now, I've just ruined work.
Let's just call it self-titled, and by that I mean you title it yourself. You do it.
I will. This honestly all might
Not
be
you,
episode
them.
1 in terms of editing. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. We'll see.
I'm so tired,
Yes,
guys.
I'm so sorry,
Please,
Grace.
can I-
Goodbye.
Yep.
I love, much appreciate. Have a good
Night,
rest of your
Grace.
night.
Good night.
Later, Grace.
Tired for next week. Oh.
Everyone else, we'll get the title next week. Thanks for joining us this week.
All good.
Sorry it's no time.